You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Police say one man was shot and killed in Antioch early this morning. Coming up in just a little bit, I'll tell you what we know.
Also now on Fox 17 News this morning, a mass shooting killed one person and wounded 20 others. This happened in Kansas City after the Super Bowl victory parade. We're going to tell you what police know so far after they have 3 people detained.
One more nice day today, but I've changed rain timing going into your weekend. Your Friday and Saturday completely different than even 24 hours ago. We'll look at it in your forecast.
All right, Greg, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. It is a Thursday morning, February the 15th, and I'm Justin McFarland. We are going to begin this morning with some breaking news. We're following a deadly shooting that took place in Antioch and has claimed the life of one person a little bit earlier this morning. Let's get out to Fox 17 News. Karen Aguilar, she's live for us this morning with the very latest on this breaking news story. Karen?
Good morning, Justin. Well, police say one man was shot and killed right here on Franklin Road near Monroe Crossing just a few hours ago. Now, I can't go past this crime tape, but my photographer is going to push in and show you what an officer tells me happened. She says that the man was shot right next to that car that is gray or off-white. There is still some blood on the floor, but it's hard to see, and that he tried to make his way towards Franklin Storage Facility. At this time, we don't know the identity of the person shot, but we are working to find that out. We're also working to find out the circumstances surrounding this incident. The officer here tells me that detectives are currently inside trying to figure this out. Police say at this moment, no one is in custody. When we have new updates, we will bring them to you. Reporting live in Antioch, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. Well, it should have been a joyful moment there in Kansas City, but it turned terrifying. That is when gunfire broke out after the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory parade yesterday. At least one person has died as a result of those shots, and dozens more were hurt. Kansas City's police chief now says 3 people have been detained.
All of a sudden, people started crushing forward. Everybody started running. There was screaming. We didn't know what was happening, but this day and age, when people run, you run.
Very scary and intense situation. The person who has died has now been identified as Lisa Lopez Galvan. She was a radio DJ and host. Police say that 21 people were wounded in that shooting. At least 8 of them were children. 15 of those involved life-threatening injuries. Investigators have recovered firearms, but have not released more details about what led up to that shooting. Now, again, we are still waiting on the details of the people who have been detained for a possible motive, but so far, none have been released. We'll continue to follow this story from Kansas City as it has impacted just about the entire sports world and everyone else as they are watching that story unfold. Let's get to Greg Bobus right now. We can look at your forecast.
Yes, so let's get into it here. The 3 things to know when it comes to the forecast. One of them has changed a little bit since yesterday morning. One more time. We've got one more day well into the 60s. We're going to be in the middle 60s. Friday rain timing has changed for us here. Snowflakes, though, on the backside are possible and some could stick. Do not let anything you see on social media overhype snow. This is not going to be like Monday where we have the big wet snowflakes that stick and then stack up and even accumulate. That's not the case. More so rain moving in tomorrow. Scattered showers. Now there is that chance of snow on the backside very late. The thing is, it's moving in earlier now than we anticipated yesterday. That means the chance for snow is smaller. Here's your Thursday. By the end of today, decently cloudy. Some clouds do move in for us, unfortunately, but the day starts off sunny. We're going to stay dry the entire day. Here's 3 a.m. tomorrow. I stop you in the middle of the night because this is the beginning of a few hints of grayish green on the radar. That means little light sprinkle action possible during the morning tomorrow, and then the afternoon will bring in the chance for some showers and maybe even a thunderstorm. Here's 2 p.m. through 5 o'clock right in the heart of Nashville, and then moves down toward the south and east through 9, and then wraps up shop overnight. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll talk about that snow potential, what I mean by it going down, and we'll also look ahead to a very cold weekend that's coming our way.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to the very latest happening out there. This is going to be on I-40, very close to the airport. If you're headed out in that direction, you are in good shape. Nothing major holding you up. Also, take a look at the big board over there with the flights. As far as we are concerned, nothing out of the ordinary going on there as far as flights departing this morning over there at BNA. We'll continue to watch it for you, let you know if anything pops up. So far, so good. Well, what is not so good over at BNA is a security scare. Coming up, we're going to tell you about a woman who skipped security and made it onto a flight to California right there at Nashville International. We got reaction from passengers and the changes that the airport could be making. Plus, Laverne police.
Spotlight on America investigates.
It should not have taken the death of my 10-month-old.
Inadequate consumer product protection.
Thursday on Fox 17 News at 9.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. We continue to follow breaking news this morning as one person has been shot and killed. That shooting took place over in the Antioch area. It is just off of this location here, south of Route 254 and just east of I-24. What we are looking at is police on the scene right now, and reportedly the shooting happened near that gray or white car in the parking lot there of that particular facility. So we will continue to follow the scene. We've got Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar there right now. You can see the police tape up and waving in the wind. So authorities are still there looking over a few things. We'll have the very latest on this coming up here in a few minutes. In Operation Crime and Justice, a major security breach at Nashville International Airport. The Transportation Security Administration says that a woman bypassed all of the security checkpoints last week and flew to Los Angeles without a ticket. How is that possible? So we take a live look right now over there at BNA. Well, agents say that the woman just jumped an unmanned barrier to avoid being spotted where passengers show their ID and boarding pass. But she did go through the physical screening line. She just made it on to an American Airlines flight from Nashville to Los Angeles.
You don't know who could do that. I mean, it could be anybody. That could have nefarious intentions, obviously, and you never want that kind of thing to happen. You feel like the security measures that are in place are here to obviously protect us.
Airport managers say they're going to do a little bit more to block off the lanes that are not in use. Now, it was the FBI who ended up questioning this woman, but as of right now, she's not facing any major criminal charges. Let's take you to Laverne. That is where the Laverne Police Department says multiple people escaped from a robbery investigation and residents should be on the lookout. Now, police were searching in the Jefferson Pike and Center Street area there in Laverne for two people or possibly even three people dressed in all black who could be armed. Now, if you know anything about this or you see anything suspicious, or you have any information, you're asked to call 911 or the Laverne Police Department non-emergency line. Let's get to Greg. He's got the latest on your forecast.
That we do. Time closing in on 4:11 here this morning on a Thursday, and today looking great, but tomorrow I've changed a few things and making it a little more inconvenient, unfortunately. Incoming rain and cold in the forecast. Still all clear when it comes to code red, but we do have rain that will start earlier and the cold will move in quicker. However, the timeline limits our chance for snow just a little bit because most of what comes in will be during our daylight hours as those temperatures begin to fall. This morning, another nice start, much like yesterday. We have the sunglasses that we need to start the day. We're all clear when it comes to any winter weather or even just rain to begin the day, and no visibility issues. Now, by the end of today, we're going to have some clouds that do track in, so this will look a little bit different here. Crystal clear look at downtown here this morning. Enjoy it while it lasts. Temperatures this morning on the right side of your screen are in the upper 30s and low 40s. Much better than yesterday morning. but they will drop a couple of clicks here. So you still want a nice coat when you get out the door this morning. We'll talk about that new updated timeline for rain. Unfortunately, it will be a little bit earlier and more of your Friday is going to be rainy. That's coming your way in about 5 minutes from right now.
Circular traffic, let's get out the door if we can. Let's get over to the airport. That's the I-40 at Dallas and Pike. As I have mentioned here, the airport moving along pretty well over there this morning so far. Let's get you over to 65 at Trinity Lane on the north side. Also looking pretty good over there. Things are going to increase as far as traffic flow is concerned a little bit later in the morning. But right this second, we're doing okay on the interstates. We'll continue to watch things for you, let you know about anything that happens as we got you covered live and local through 9. Well, coming up, Mid-State Representative Mark Green says he will not be running for another term in Congress. We're going to tell you about the investigation he's been handling over the last few weeks. Plus,
diabetes and weight management, and subsequently suffered injuries. You may be entitled to compensation. Call Bart Durham Injury Law at 615-242-9000 for a free case evaluation.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 4:14 is the time. That's a live look there over downtown Nashville, Tennessee. Greg Bovis has been watching the skies for us. He does it every day. It's cold out there as we get started here. It's February, it's supposed to be, but how cold are we going to get? Greg will have the details on your forecast coming up here in the next few minutes in case you need to make up for the Valentine's Day that you may have missed. You know, some people celebrate after Valentine's Day. Well, Mid-State Congressman Mark Green says he will not be running for re-election. The Tennessee Republican announced yesterday that he will not be seeking a fourth term in Congress. It comes one day after the impeachment of the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Now, as chairman of the Committee on Homeland Security, Representative Green was behind the effort to remove or at least impeach the secretary from office. Green has served in Congress since 2018. He represents Tennessee's 7th district. Now, Green did not give many details about his future, but he did say, and I quote, "As I have done my entire life, I will continue serving this country, but in a new capacity." Let's take you over to Memphis. The city of Memphis has now released brand new documents related to the death of Tyree Nichols. The 29-year-old Nichols died January of last year, days after being beaten by police officers during a traffic stop. The hundreds of new pages included an account from a witness who lived in the neighborhood where the beating happened. The witness told police they saw Nichols lying on the ground, and thought he was already dead. The release comes weeks after dozens of recordings related to the case were made public by the city of Memphis in response to a court order. Of course, we'll continue to watch that story, as will the nation. Well, a Valentine's Day strike yesterday as Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash drivers in major cities decided to band together. Now, drivers say prices for everything keeps rising. The ride share companies are taking a bigger percentage of their fares. Many drivers are now complaining that they need to work more hours to make ends meet. Lyft does not agree. They say that drivers earning $30 an hour to keep more than 23 of those dollars for themselves. But that means that drivers would lose over 20% of the particular royalties that they took in. And that includes, and now they did have rallies out there in places like Newark, New Jersey, Philadelphia, and San Francisco. As far as we know, no rallies here in Nashville. Let's get to Greg Bovis. He's standing by with a look at your forecast. And Greg, things have been cold out there a little bit, but no rain at least.
No, none today. And cold for the mornings. Yeah, that's going to keep with us, unfortunately. But I'll tell you today, if you liked yesterday afternoon, even warmer later today. We could be in the mid to upper 60s later today. So very nice. Yeah, we're showing off here on a Thursday, a baby Friday. Very nice last day with sunshine for now. By the end of today, the clouds will creep back in. We're much colder this weekend. I don't even mean the morning temperatures because those are already a little bit chilly, and they will get colder the weekend. But the afternoons might not even hit 40 degrees on Saturday and might not even hit 50 degrees on Sunday. That's where we're at. Quick little dip of temperature, and then we're better next week. Rain and snow chances. Yeah, I said the word snow again. Do not worry about the word snow. Actually, the change in rain timing helps us see the lesser chance to see a few snowflakes in the forecast. Here's what we're watching. We do have rain that is possible. Scattered showers. 24 hours ago, it looked like after 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. Now we're talking after 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we move the timing up. The temperature drops quicker, but also we still have some sunshine influence. That means that our chance for any snow that sticks becomes very limited. So there could be a few snowflakes that are flying, minimal accumulation possible through southern Kentucky, but I wouldn't even worry about anything close to what we saw on Monday. 40 right now, clear night. Broadway's getting good to go for the upcoming weekend. Not much to worry about. Grab yourself some lunch. Take a look at that forecast. 58 degrees at 11, 62 at noon, and 63 degrees at 1 p.m.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you over to the latest happening out there on I-24. This is I-24, very close to the Hickory Hollow Parkway area out there. As you can see, traffic is moving out there. No big problems so far. No major crashes out there on the roads, but things can change and change quickly. That's why we got you covered with Steer Clear Traffic. We're here with you live and local through 9. Well, gone but never forgotten. Now, artificial intelligence is restoring the voices of people who've been lost to gun violence. And the messages are aimed at politicians who critics say oppose tougher gun laws. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a look at the technology that families are hoping will keep the memories of victims alive.
Haunting but powerful. Artificial intelligence is recreating the many voices of those killed by gun violence in an effort to help prevent more lives from being taken.
Because our stories need to be heard, and who better to tell them than us?
Voices like that of Joaquin Oliver, who was one of the 17 people murdered 6 years ago at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
Hello, I'm Joaquin Oliver. 6 years ago, I was a senior at Parkland. Many students and teachers were murdered on Valentine's Day that year by a person using an AR-15. But you don't care. You never did.
Joaquin's parents are now using the AI messages to robocall lawmakers nationwide, who they say support the National Rifle Association and oppose tougher gun laws.
The same stats and nothing changes.
They hope the new campaign will put more pressure on Congress to ban AR-15 style semi-automatic rifles, like the one used to kill their son.
We have nothing to lose here, okay? I mean, we already lost everything.
But the Olivers aren't alone. Other families, including that of one of the 4 people killed at a Tennessee Waffle House in 2018, and that of one of the 21 people slain at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, are also robocalling politicians with the AI voices of their loved ones.
It's been 6 years and you've done nothing. Not a thing to stop all the shootings that have continued to happen since.
Because the campaign is being run indefinitely through the Shotline website, even more families of gun violence victims will be able to add the recreated voices of their relatives going forward. Ted Linder, Fox News.
Well, coming up, the Tennessee Volunteers square up against the Razorbacks from Arkansas. We've got highlights from the game and the top scorers. Plus this year's Music City Grand Prix.
Stay sale.
With Nashville's largest selection of leather motion furniture.
Sofas and sectionals, bedroom and dining room, reclining furniture, and more.
Plus free next day delivery.
It's the B.F. Myers Furniture President's Day sale.
4:24 is the time we continue to follow the breaking news this morning as Metro Police are on the scene now where one person has been shot and killed. This shooting took place in Antioch. You can see it there just off of I-24. Police there at a warehouse office facility there in the Antioch area. You can see them walking talking with, well, you got two different units here. Let me just be clear. You got crime scene investigators there, and then you believe you've got someone that could be with the Metro Police detective. So you got people gathering evidence and processing evidence along with Metro Police detective who's investigating that evidence. So you got someone gathering it and got someone looking at it, and they serve two very different roles. The shooting happened near that gray or white car that you see there in the parking lot. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar will have a complete detail update for us coming up in about 5 to 6 minutes. Well, let's go to sports news now. The Tennessee Volunteers played the Arkansas Razorbacks on their home court and brought home a decisive win. Now, it was Dalton Knecht having a career season, finishing with a game high of 22 points, some big dunks along the way, too. You see him rattling the rim in certain cases there. The Tennessee Volunteers also had a great night, racking up several other players with big numbers. Final score, 92-63? Really? That big of a blowout there for the Volunteers? Next up, they'll play Vanderbilt on the Rocky Top on Saturday afternoon. Well, this September, Nashville will not be hearing the roar of the IndyCar engines. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix will be taking place at the Nashville Superspeedway out there near the Wilson County, Rutherford County line in the Lebanon area. Now, Big Machine chairman said that yesterday the construction on the brand new Titan Stadium will impact the normal race course. The Grand Prix typically winds its way through the streets of Nashville and across the Cumberland River. But for the upcoming race on September the 15th, the Superspeedway will make an intriguing venue change. It's the first oval-shaped track to host the IndyCar Championship in the last 10 years.
426, taking a look ahead to the big change in the forecast. Rain moving in a little earlier in the afternoon on Friday, and then this still is settling in place here. We're talking about the weekend outlook of much cooler temperatures. Rain and snow flakes, just flakes, are likely here. But by the time we get into your Saturday morning, everything dies down. Not much will stick when it comes to that snow word right there. Very chilly mornings. I'm more focused on the cold than I am on the rain and the snow. Take a look. Saturday morning, you wake up to 28 degrees. Sunday, 23. Sunday brings us back to the 50-degree mark, and then Monday into Tuesday will actually get us back to warmer times, 50s and 60s. It's a really short little spell of some winter weather, but it's going to be there for the weekend. You can scan the QR code right there, get the Fox 17 Code Red Weather app, or go to the Apple Store or Google Play Store, depending upon what kind of device you have. I tell you every morning, if you're sick of hearing it, then just go download it, and you'll be good to go. You'll know when that rain moves in. You can track it in real time with us.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you started over there on the west side of town. Shh, the trucks are sleeping over there. Don't you see them? They're over there on the shoulder of the road there at I-40 near White Bridge Road. It's not just the 18-wheelers. There's a pickup truck over there as well, taking a little bit of a break. But other than that, nothing out of the ordinary out there on the interstates. We'll continue to keep you updated throughout the morning.
Police say one man was shot and killed in Antioch early this morning. Coming up, I'll show you where it happened, and I'll have the details. Stay with us.
Plus, an unlicensed daycare where a baby died.
System dealer. All candidates must pass a background check and a drug screening. If you're interested in working for the best, then we're interested in you. Call AC Plus today. AC Plus is an equal opportunity employer.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News This Morning, the city of Millersville has lost almost all of its fire department. This is after the fire chief was removed from the job. We've got more on the situation and who's protecting the city of Millersville right now. Greg?
Waking up here bright and, well, not bright just yet, but we're clear right now. Bright sunshine later today. We're cold for the time being. New updates to weekend rain. It's going to be a little bit worse for your Friday. That's coming up in your forecast, Justin.
Yeah, zero dark, 4:30 right now. Greg, let's take a look at your interstate travel. This is going to be I-24 at Almoville Road. As you make that drive in from Rutherford County, we're going to tell you why things could back up here in a big way coming up here a little bit later. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. It is a Thursday morning. This is February the 15th, and I'm Justin McFarland. We are going to begin with breaking news out of the Antioch area. That is where one person has died after a shooting overnight. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joins us live. Karen, exactly where are you? What is this building used for, as far as you can tell? I know police are out there still investigating.
Well, that's right. I'm actually at the Franklin storage facility, where police say one man was shot and killed. That warehouse is on Franklin Road. Now, I can't go past this crime tape here, but my photographer is going to push in and show you where that shooting might have happened. I spoke with the sergeant here, who tells me that a worker saw blood on the floor next to that car and followed the trail of blood inside the facility and then called 911. At this time, we don't know the identity of the person, but we are working to find out. The sergeant here tells me detectives are currently inside the warehouse looking at surveillance video and talking to possible witnesses to figure out what happened. Police say at this time no one is in custody, but when we have those updates, we will bring them to you. Reporting live in Antioch, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. Well, we do want to provide an update to you about the unlicensed daycare in South Nashville, where a 6-month-old baby died last week. Now, the state did get a temporary restraining order to keep Lourdes Hernandez from watching children in her one-bedroom apartment just off of Welshwood Drive. Now, listen to this. Police say at one point she was keeping as many as 10 children under the age of 3 in that one-bedroom apartment. Hernandez says that the infant, who ended up passing away, was sleeping and became unresponsive. The medical examiner is still determining the exact cause of death. Let's get to Greg Volvis right now. He's standing by to tell us about your forecast, get you set to go on this Thursday.
Yes, we will take you into the weekend and all the changes, and there are a couple that you need to know to take you into that weekend itself. One more day well into the 60s. We're going to talk about 67 degrees for a high temperature later today. So the right side of your screen, you're going to go, well, it's cold to start off. We're in the 30s again. Yeah, that's the case. Every morning going to be cold, but this afternoon, even warmer than yesterday and the day before. Friday, rain timing has changed, and unfortunately, rain moves in earlier. But that means that our potential for snowflakes that actually stick to the ground, which we talked about a little bit yesterday, has actually gone down a touch. But it means that our temperatures will be colder by the end of your Friday, and a good chunk of the day will be on the rainier side. This morning, that is not the case. Another nice start. We will be in the 30s through about 10 o'clock this morning. Much like yesterday, sunglasses are needed. We're all clear when it comes to any potential weather getting in your way to start off this morning. Justin, how's circular traffic looking?
Circular traffic is doing all right. I guess we've got a look for you this morning at I-24 near Waldron Road as you get out and about there. Over in the Laverne area, Laverne, Rutherford County. Right now, things are moving along just fine. Later on this morning, things will really back up in this area. This will be a parking lot in a couple of hours as more and more people get out there on the roads. But right now, we're in good shape as you get out and about there in that particular area in Rutherford County, making that drive into Nashville. As a matter of fact, we'll get you your latest drive times coming up in about 5 minutes. Well, we do have continuing coverage this morning out of Robertson County. That is where the city of Millersville has just one firefighter left on the job. This is after the city fired the fire chief. He actually and the rest of the department resigned because of that firing. So that's 17 firefighters in total who quit. The Millersville city attorney, Bryant Kroll, says after the interim city manager, Tina Tubin, made the decision to terminate the former fire chief, Brandon Head, about 1 month after firing the former police chief. Now, Kroll says Tobin does not need a reason to terminate these people. He also says there is an issue with an investigation into the police commissioned cards, where reserve officers were listed as active so they can get jobs as security guards.
To see all those guys bring their stuff in and turn it in, it was mixed emotions. I mean, of course, very humbling, but also it scares me because I'm a resident in the city and I have a home and I have a family, and we rely on the city to provide police and fire protection.
Now, Kroll says they do have a mutual aid agreement with the cities of White House and Goodlettsville to provide coverage, especially in certain areas in case of an emergency. We'll continue to follow this story as this situation continues to develop. Well, coming up, New York City is suing social media companies, claiming their products have damaged the mental health of children. We've got more on that story in a few. And a battery plant in Clarksville will be taking...
Smart, think smart, think smart, talk smart, get smart. You are smart, smarty pants.
You gotta unleash the power.
Weeknights at 5 on Fox 17.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Live look there inside of BNA. That is Nashville International Airport, where things are busy already this morning. Look at all those people. And I've said it over and over again, everyone. Nashville International Airport by far is the busiest place in the city this time of the morning. They had a little trouble over there recently, though. Someone was able to get all the way onto a flight and get to L.A. without a ticket. They bypassed security and everything. We're going to tell you more about that coming up here throughout the morning, and some security changes are going to be made over there. Busy place right now, though. New York City is taking the world's top social media companies to court. Now, in a brand new lawsuit filed against TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and YouTube, the city of New York says that these companies impose a, quote, large burden on mental health services to youth, end quote. This comes after numerous families have also recently sued the social media giants over the alleged impact that these sites have had on children. Now, Snapchat and Facebook's parent company is Meta. They have issued statements saying that they have features that they use to offer support to everyone who wants to use their social media platforms. Let's go to Clarksville now. That is where LG Chem, the battery plant that is being built up there in Clarksville, has now inked a deal for almost $19 billion. They are going to supply the electric vehicle parts to General Motors. Now, this deal covers 10 years from 2026 until 2035. The production at the plant is expected to start in 2026. The plant is expected to bring at least 860 jobs to the mid-state.
That is a lot of jobs and a lot of good numbers coming our way for the afternoon here when it comes to your forecast. However, I've changed one thing, and that is our next weather maker, the rainy Friday into Saturday that we see coming our way. Let's just take a look at where we're going to go when it comes to precip chances. So we're going to have tomorrow into Saturday. No rain today, 30s right now, 66 degrees later on this afternoon. And then when we're done with the weekend, Sunday into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we dry back out. So it really is about a 24-hour event that moves in. Future track. Right now, we'll start this off today. We're starting off with sunshine and then some clouds build in for the afternoon. We'll stop you here at 5 p.m. That light white and gray shade. Yeah, clouds are going to pick up for us here. So we're done with the unlimited sunshine. We start the day with it. We end the day without it. Tomorrow, even early hours when you're waking up with us right around this time tomorrow, rain begins to move in. A better chance for it moves in through 2 p.m. and then 5 p.m. We're going to take this exact image and stop it right here. And then in 5 minutes, look ahead to when the rain moves out and potential snowflakes in the next check of your forecast.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's take a quick look outside here. This is going to be I-65 at Armory Drive there on the south side of town. As you can see, traffic there moving along very well. No big problems there on the south side. Your overall drive times look like this. Mount Juliet at 26 minutes. Murfreesboro, 51 minutes. Franklin, 27 minutes on that drive. We'll continue to follow things for you as you get out and about on the roads. Well, coming up, despite the rising economy, many companies are laying off workers. We're going to tell you why and how to prepare for the absolute worst. And what could have been a major accident.
Whether it's a single tooth, dentures, or dental implants, we make new smiles affordable for everyone.
Go ahead and smile.
4:44 is the time. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. We continue to follow the shooting that took place down in Antioch. We understand that the shooting took place over on Old Franklin Road. This is not too far away from Bell Road, just off of I-24 there in the Antioch area. We understand that the focus of that shooting has been around that gray and silver car. Now, Metro Police is there right now. You can see where they've got the crime scene tape set up. As a matter of fact, and I know this just from years of doing this, they had two scenes at one point. You can see where they had the crime scene tape up and then they took it down and have set up new crime scene tape. They typically do that when they expand the search area that they're investigating. So that is an ongoing scene right now. Fox 17 News, Karen Aguilar is there. She'll give us an update coming up in about, 15 minutes. Economists agree that the United States job market is booming, but dozens of companies have already announced layoffs this year, and more could be coming. So what's really going on with this? Fox News' Rebecca Castor explains.
In the last 2 months, the U.S. added nearly 700,000 jobs, a signal of a strong economy, yet companies are not finished with layoffs.
I actually just joined a company that did layoffs a few months ago. But I feel pretty confident that my job will be safe when I start there. I feel like it's just that time to kind of clean house.
A lot of companies say it comes down to restructuring. That's the case at Snapchat, Cisco, and Google. But it's not just tech companies making cuts. Data from Resume Builder finds 38% of companies are likely to follow suit this year.
We're seeing them across the board in a lot of cases. It's not necessarily targeted to certain areas. It's, 10% across the organization.
But with over 9 million job openings in the U.S., job seekers have plenty to choose from. They might just have to manage their expectations.
I had to take a job making half as much just so I could work.
And career strategists warn U.S. workers of all stripes, blue collar and white collar, need to be aware of AI and how it could take over their industry.
You want to know how it works and how it could impact your position and make sure that you're on top of it and you're an expert as much as you can be.
Even with the layoffs, the nation's unemployment rate is close to its lowest in decades, and wages are finally pulling ahead of inflation. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, at 4:47, the man who helped change the face of breakfast and snacking, really, has now died. We're talking about the inventor of Pop-Tarts, died over the weekend. William Post created the very first toaster pastry back in the 1960s. It would later be known as the iconic Pop-Tart. In later interviews, Post said that he knew Pop-Tarts would be a major success because his children loved them so much. A service for Post is scheduled this afternoon. Mr. Post was 96 years old. Wow. Wild video that we're going to show you right now as an ambulance narrowly avoids a collision with an out-of-control car, and the whole thing was caught on dash cam video. Thankfully, everyone made it out okay, but take a look at this. And a reminder, everyone is fine. Look at that right there as the car comes flipping towards them. This happened along I-95 during the winter weather conditions out there in Massachusetts. A paramedic was behind the wheel taking a patient to the hospital when this happened. You can see the car really coming out of nowhere and coming across the center lanes and flying towards the ambulance, right into the path of that ambulance. Right there, the ambulance was able to swerve and avoid the car. Despite the severity of this crash, authorities say the driver of that car was not seriously hurt. Shaken but not broken. Wow. Wow. All right, let's get to Greg here. Look at the forecast here. Whiteout conditions up there in Massachusetts. Nothing of the sort here in Middle Tennessee.
Not even a cloud in the sky right now, Justin, but that means it's a little bit cold to begin the day. But hey, when you have a nice morning like this, we'll take a little bit of a chill if I can get you to 66 degrees later on this afternoon. I promised you I'd stop Future Track a few minutes ago right where we were at. This is the next weather maker, and this is new timing here waking up this morning. 24 hours ago, it looked like this band of rain that we're tracking right here for tomorrow at 5 p.m. was going to move in about 2-3 hours later. Now we're talking an early to middle afternoon into the evening weather maker. Might even get a clap or two of thunder because of how early it is, but we don't see blue on the backside of this here. Look out for the north and the east. We see some purples and some pinks, meaning winter mix. Now, there could be a few snowflakes through 9 p.m. and then into the overnight that do develop as colder air moves in, and I mean really colder air. But we're not worried about anything sticking when it comes to it. Just know that if you have plans Friday afternoon into the evening, we're going to have rain that is coming down for us here. That's just the name of the game for it. The timing is going up and the temperatures will go down. 40 degrees for your Saturday, 51 on Sunday. Nighttime temps are the ones that are going to get to you here. If you're an early riser on Saturday or Sunday, you definitely need to have a winter coat. We're going to be in the low to middle 20s and could feel even colder with the breeze that settles in. Your 7-day forecast doesn't keep the cold here that long. 66 today, 59 degrees tomorrow. That cool weekend we just told you about, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we get right back into the upper 50s and eventually middle 60s by about a week from today. So it really just is, unfortunately, a weekend cool down with that rain that moves in tomorrow.
Circular traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to the very latest happening here. This is going to be I-24 at the I-40 junction there, the Silman Evans Bridge in downtown. As you can see, traffic moving along there without any problems. We're doing fine, doing just fine out there in both directions. We'll let you know if anything does get in your way. Circular traffic, we got you covered live and local through 9 o'clock this morning. In crisis in the classroom, students' assaults are on the rise against teachers there in the classroom. Last year alone, there were 344 student-to-staff assaults in metro schools alone. Teachers tell Fox 17 News they are seeing a drastic change in student behaviors. Now, Lauren Leonard has been a metro school teacher for the last 20 years. Leonard has been assaulted on the job and worries about her safety. She says triggers include taking away a cell phone or being reprimanded with consequences. Leonard also says what upsets her more than anything else is being assaulted and the lack of support from Metro Schools administration.
I just feel that sadness of disrespect. But what's worse is when the people who are supposed to support me don't believe me.
Well, coming up tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, our own Amanda Chen has a district response and the changes that teachers want to see. Well, coming up, zoo animals experience the joy of Valentine's Day thanks to the staff, but some didn't really take to it. We're going to have more on that coming up in a few minutes. And researchers say some types of exercise.
With Nashville's largest selection of leather motion furniture.
Sofas and sectionals, bedroom and dining room, reclining furniture, and more.
Plus free next day delivery.
It's the B.F. Myers Furniture President's Day sale.
4:55 is the time. Live look there across Lower Broadway. They've shut off a lane, not unusual. They're probably setting up a crane or something. That's kind of what they do on Broadway this time of the morning. They set up cranes and they deliver beer. That's what they do. Of course, they're setting up for tourists to return. We've got the latest on your forecast and when the Preds will hit the ice again. Coming up here in the next few minutes there at Bridgestone Arena. Valentine's Day is fun for animals, not just humans. Check this out. This happened at the Brookfield Zoo there in Chicago as they celebrated the love-themed enrichment activities for its animals. While the gray seals chowed down on some Valentine's treats, the bottlenose dolphins were not left out. They jumped out of the water so they can get some of that love as well. Now, the two-toed sloth got a heart-shaped sweet potato, and a pink cockatoo pretty much ignored the strawberry slices someone gave him. Look at that. Just like, I don't want this. This is not what I ordered. Get this out of here. He just threw them around instead. But overall, it looks like they had a lot of fun out there at the zoo.
You don't always get the gift you want, Justin.
No. Some people are more expressive about it than others.
Sometimes it's just the way it is, but you know what?
Get this away from me. It's not what I want.
It's not what I want. Return to sender. Taking a look. This might not be what you want for the weekend. You can't return it to sender. I'm just the messenger here. Taking a look here. The weekend forecast. Rain and snowflakes are likely here leading into your Saturday morning. Then we dry out for the rest of the weekend. Very chilly mornings, though. 28 degrees on Saturday morning. 23 on Sunday. That has not changed at all. Sunday does bring us kind of back near normal, which is the low 50s. And then we get even better from Monday into Tuesday. I will tell you, though, stick with us going into 5 o'clock because I've got a brand new look at Future Track, and unfortunately more of your Friday looks a little rainy than it looked yesterday. I pulled the timing of the rain closer to the afternoon hours than evening, so more of your day could be hampered. We'll take a look at that in just a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to I-40. This is very close to Donaldson Pike out there near the exit for the airport. Things moving along out there very nicely. No big holdups out there in that direction. Of course, we do expect things to change a little bit later in the morning as the traffic flow increases. But as I've said earlier here in the hour, Nashville International Airport by far is the busiest place in Nashville this time of the day, with hundreds, if not thousands of people already out there at the airport this morning. But so far, no big traffic tie-ups getting out there. We're going to take you to some other areas of town coming up here in the next few minutes. Well, when a wave of depression hits, there is a brand new study that does suggest physical activity may help a whole lot. Now, this comes from research published in the BMJ. Now, they suggest that many types of exercise like walking, jogging, yoga, and strength training can be very helpful when it comes to treating depression. The lead study says that they analyzed data from 218 different studies out there. Researchers found that exercise can serve as an effective treatment alongside other options, including therapy and medication. Of course, motivation is a common struggle, and depression can add to that particular challenge. Let's go to Canada. A mysterious shipwreck suddenly appears on the shores of Newfoundland. Now, this is a coastal community, and it happened just last month. It's believed that the ship was dislodged from the seabed by a very fierce storm. It would have to be very powerful to remove this. It was able to bring along some other pieces of the ship along the way. As soon as Sean Bath and Trevor Croft from the Clean Harbors Initiative heard about the shipwreck, they grabbed their dive gear and went to do what they could to try and secure it with ropes. The wreck age and the origins of this wreck remain unknown. Let's talk about some super news for comic book lovers out there. The top comic book brands are now teaming up on print crossovers for the first time in decades. This means Marvel and DC Comics are releasing 2 collections of older crossover stories that can be hard to find. So the comics can answer the questions like, what would it like if Batman ever went up against Captain America? You can get answers to that as those issues are due out on August the 6th of this year. Our 5 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Police say one man was shot and killed early this morning in Antioch. Coming up, I'll have the details on that.
In a mass shooting killing 1 person and wounding over 20 others at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory parade. What we know so far is police have 3 people they're questioning.
Forecast here for us changing a little bit going into the weekend. Not necessarily a bad change, but a timing change for rain. We'll break that down on your forecast.
All right. Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We have a lot to get to here on this Thursday morning. Very busy. We begin with breaking news right now in Antioch, where we've had a deadly shooting overnight, and we have a current investigation as we speak.
Yeah, Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us out there. She's been there since before 4 o'clock getting some answers. What have you learned, Karen?
Good morning. Well, police say that the person shot was a man. It happened right here at the Franklin Storage Facility on Franklin Road just a little after midnight. Now, I can't go past this crime tape, but what we did see was the body was removed and it was taken away. Now, if my camera person wants to zoom in on that gray car or silver car next to the blue pole, a sergeant tells me that a worker told them that they saw blood next to that car, and that trail of blood led into the facility. So at this moment, we don't know if the person that was shot next to the car or inside the facility. That's what detectives have been out here all day trying to figure out where it happened and how it happened. Now, we do know also from the sergeant that the man could be in his 20s and 30s, and at this moment, we don't know the identity of that person shot. The sergeant also says the detectives are currently inside the warehouse looking at surveillance video and talking to possible witnesses to figure out what happened. We also know that 2 cars pulled up next to that silver car behind me, so that there are 2 suspects. Police say at this moment, no one is in custody. We are working to figure out the circumstances surrounding this incident, and when we have those updates, we will bring them to you. Reporting live in Antioch, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Getting to some big national headlines this morning. Super Bowl celebrations are terrifying as gunfire rings out during the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory parade. And we have confirmed this morning 1 person has died, dozens more are injured.
Kansas City Police Chief now saying that 3 people are in custody. Listen here.
I was just telling everybody to get down, and then like get out the way. We saw the police swarm a stairwell, and then we heard another pop from there. And that's when I was like, okay, we're gone.
Chaos here, and the person identified as the victim who died is the woman you see on your screen, Lisa Lopez Galvan, a radio DJ and host. Police say 21 people as of this morning are recovering from injuries, including at least 8 children. We do understand that of the 21 people injured, 15 people have life-threatening injuries. Investigators have recovered guns, but have not released any more details. By the way, we've got more details now.
Yeah, it's a very much ongoing investigation, but we do know that this parade came down this particular street, okay? The parade route right behind me, circling it for you to get a better understanding, and that this incident happened at the very end of the parade. This is where the shooting then took place. So folks are wrapping up, just getting to the end of this parade. The shooting erupts and folks just take off running. This was west of Kansas City's Union Station, a very popular landmark in that area.
And Erica, there is incredible video of people tackling one of the people suspected of firing the shots. We are going to bring that video to you coming up in the next hour. It is wild to see how these crowds of people, many, of whom ran toward the danger, tackling this guy to the ground. So we will follow that for you coming up this morning in our 6 o'clock hour. Right now, let's get to the top 3 things you'll want to know about this morning, other than the stories we just brought you. I mentioned it is a very busy Thursday morning. Right now, in case you missed it yesterday, I want to get you up to speed on the threat to national security. Lawmakers are urging people to stay calm, even though it has been released that there is a threat to national security. Members of Congress and the Biden administration speaking with intelligence and defense officials yesterday regarding an issue that is somehow related to Russia's space capabilities, specifically a nuclear anti-satellite system. Now, according to lawmakers and these experts, it is not capable of reaching orbit, but there is grave concern about their capability. Also, breaking news in just moments ago, we have learned of a missile strike on a city in Russia. We're working to get you those details, and we'll bring them to you just as soon as we learn more.
And more international headlines. Israeli forces have started a raid on a major hospital in southern Gaza. The Gaza Health Ministry and Israeli forces entering the Nasser hospital yesterday. Now, Israel's military ordering people who had taken shelter at the hospital to go ahead and evacuate, and they have also said that Hamas may have held hostages at that particular hospital.
Law enforcement and communities come together to honor the Blount County Deputy Greg McGowan, who was killed in the line of duty last week. His funeral happening just yesterday in Knoxville. Kenneth DeHart, the main suspect in all of this, is in custody in the case.
5:06 your time now. The top 3 things to know for weather that change going into your weekend. One more day well into the 60s. We're talking about high temperatures today that could be between 66 and 68 degrees depending upon where you are at. You are not there or even close to it yet. Right side of your screen, current temps are in the 30s to near 40 degrees for most of us. So not quite as cold as yesterday morning, but definitely still a little bit of a chill in the air. Friday rain timing has changed. And you can look at it for the better or for the worse. We'll just talk you through it and what's going to happen here coming up in a few. But earlier in the day, the rain is going to move in. Could even get a clap or two of some thunder. I've got a brand new look at Future Track for you in about 5 minutes. Snowflakes in the backside of it are now less likely. And if we do see them, less likely that they actually would stick. When it comes to the forecast, we're all clear for code red. Just tracking that incoming rain and also incoming cold. Temperatures go from 66 to 68 today to barely making it to 40 degrees 48 hours from now.
Let's also get a good look at your traffic. Let's track that. 5:07 is the time. Do want to take a live look. This is I-40 at Broadway where you're not seeing any kind of issues at hand. This is an area, though, that we know the traffic certainly does pick up. Just give it a little bit of time, maybe an hour or so. We'll continue tracking all of your traffic headlines for you up until 9 a.m.
A security breach at Nashville International Airport. How did a woman get on a plane with no boarding pass and make it to California? We're asking questions and getting your reaction in minutes.
That story is a head scratcher, and police say
in Madison.
We've been breathing this.
Lots of people don't realize that mold feeds off moisture in their crawl space. But don't worry, we got this.
At AFS, we'll do a home inspection for free.
5:10 is the time. In Operation Crime and Justice, you need to listen to this story. It's bizarre. A major security breach at Nashville International Airport.
You mentioned a moment ago it's a real head scratcher because we're all wondering, and many of you are too, how did a lady get on an airplane with no boarding pass and make it all the way to California? Well, the Transportation Security Administration says she bypassed all airport security checkpoints last week here at Nashville International Airport and yes, flew to Los Angeles without a ticket. So how did this happen? We're taking a live look this morning at a very busy BNA. It has become one of the busier airports in the nation, really.
Oh, for sure.
And agents say the woman jumped an unmanned barrier to avoid the spot where typically passengers would have to show their ID and their boarding pass. Now, she did go through the physical screening line, but remember, you don't have to show your boarding pass at that point.
Okay, but she still managed to then make it on to an American Airlines flight.
And how did that happen?
I don't know. Airport managers say they're doing more to block off the lanes that are not in use because that's what she managed to jump over. The FBI then questioned the woman, but as of right now, she is not facing any kind of criminal charges.
Fascinating.
Bizarre to me. Hey, the Laverne Police Department, here's another story, says multiple people escaped from a robbery investigation and they're asking homeowners to, yes, be on the lookout. Police were searching in the Jefferson Pike and the Center Street area for 2 or 3 people dressed in all black who could be armed and considered dangerous. So if you see anything suspicious or maybe you have some more information about this ongoing search, you were asked to call 911 or the police non-emergency number, and we are sharing that number for you right here on the bottom of your screen. We'll also have this number shared up on fox17.com.
5:12 your time. Now maybe you're waking up here, you're going, okay, tomorrow's Friday. I'm going to get the exercise in today and kind of, you know, make my Friday morning a little easier. Maybe have breakfast a little bit later. Taking a look at this morning, get out the door. 41 degrees at 6 a.m., 51 by 9 o'clock. Sunshine to start, but some clouds do build in a little bit later today, and then tomorrow's rain timing has changed. We're going to break that down for you in the next check of your Code Red forecast. Right now, we'll see how steer clear traffic is looking for you on this Thursday morning.
All right, good stuff, Greg. Thank you. Yeah, steer clear traffic all in all looking pretty good right now. This is I-40 Donaldson Pike right over by the airport. No big backups, no crashes. You're looking good right now in steer clear traffic.
Coming up, Mid-State Representative Mark Green says he is not running for re-election. The investigation that Green says he's been handling, though, over the last couple of weeks, that is certainly making him.
I wanted to help you just like it has helped me.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by U.S. Pest Protection.
At 5:15 this Thursday morning, Fox 17 News is following some breaking news when it comes to international headlines. Russian authorities say 5 people were killed in the missile strike on the city of Volgograd. City leaders say Ukraine missiles hit a shopping center and a school stadium area. They say all in all, 18 people, as of right now, they understand were hurt. Russia's military of defense also says that air defense systems destroyed 14 missiles over the city that were launched by Ukraine overnight. We are also following some breaking news that's happening here in Middle Tennessee over in Antioch. Take a look at your screen because we're mapping it all out for you, showing you where this happened and showing you that scene that is still active. We understand one person has been shot and killed over in Antioch. This is on Nashville Highway near Bell Road and I-24. Police, you can see them right here. We're zooming in, giving you a better look on the scene. A tow truck just now pulling up, trying to get that area cleaned up, get that car out of there. We have our Fox 17 News reporter, Karen Aguilar, out there asking questions. We do understand that this building that we're seeing here on the screen, where this all took place in the parking lot, is a cable company. So we're getting some more questions answered for you, and we'll have some more updates in a couple of minutes.
5:16 is the time right now. Mid-state Congressman and Republican Mark Green says he will not run for re-election. The Tennessee Republican announcing just yesterday that he will not seek a 4th term. This comes one day after he was on the committee that led the impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. As chairman of that committee on Homeland Security, Mr. Green spearheaded the effort by House Republicans. He served in Congress since 2018, representing Tennessee's 7th district. Now, he didn't give a lot of details on his future plans. He is a doctor and former military, but he said, quote, "As I have done my entire life, I will continue serving this country, but in a new capacity." So as soon as we find out what he plans to do next, we'll be sure to let you know.
The city of Memphis has released some new documents related to the death of Tyree Nichols. 29-year-old Tyree Nichols died in January of last year, days after being beaten by police officers during a traffic stop.
The hundreds of new pages worth of documents include an account from a witness who lived in that neighborhood where this all happened. That witness told police that they saw Nichols lying on the ground and thought he was already dead. The release comes weeks after dozens of recordings related to the case also made public by the Memphis city officials in response to a court order.
There was a Valentine's Day strike that happened yesterday, and it meant that Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash drivers in major cities, well, they banded together and said, we're not working.
Yeah, we don't have any word of this impacting Nashville in a big way, but drivers in many other big cities say that as prices for everything keep rising, the rideshare companies are taking a bigger percentage of their fares. A lot of drivers are complaining that they need to work more hours just to make ends meet. Now, Lyft representatives don't agree. They say their drivers are earning $30 an hour, and they get to keep more than 23 of those dollars for themselves. Rallies taking place in cities like Newark, Philadelphia, and San Francisco.
5:18 is the time. We do want to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist, Greg Bobus, who says the rain is going to come in earlier than previously expected.
Yeah, that will for tomorrow, not today. Today, I mean, couldn't be much better. We thought yesterday was good. Yesterday was low 60s. Today is middle to upper 60s. So we've kind of elevated our game a little bit, but we've also moved up the rain timing, which, believe it or not, is a good thing. Now, you may not want to have a lot of rainy hours on your Friday and maybe even a clap or two of thunder, but it limits our chance to see snow. And we'll take a look at that on Future Track. But Friday into Saturday, only rain chances we have in the next 7 days, and that includes today. Today it's not going to rain. You're going to have sunshine to start, and then clouds will build, and you see it right here on Future Track. Throughout the morning into the afternoon, the whites and grays indicating we have some cloud cover that will increase throughout the entire day through 5 o'clock. But we're going to have a high temperature of right near 66. So really, it's a great day. Overnight tonight, a few light rain showers. Look at the little specks. Look real close. Of grayish green that move in on top of the cloud cover. A sprinkle or two to kick off tomorrow morning. It's the afternoon when the time has changed. 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning, a few showers are out there, but here's the real rainmaker that moves in 2 p.m. into southern Kentucky, and then we go 5 o'clock. So evening drive time right through the heart of Middle Tennessee, and that continues to track away. You don't see any blue, but this area right here through 9 o'clock that still shows green as temperature is dropping could give us a little dusting of some snow. It will not be like what we saw when we went through our Monday. We're not going to have the big old wet snowflakes that stack up and give us some decent accumulation, but a dusting on a few surfaces cannot be ruled out.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to I-40. This is at Broadway over in downtown Nashville. You can see the traffic there for yourself, flowing pretty smoothly. No big problems over there this morning so far. Things can and will change, and when it does, we'll be here to let you know about it with Steer clear traffic as we got you covered line through 9. But right now, as you make your way through the heart of downtown, we're doing just fine as we get you started here on this Thursday morning.
Justin, thank you. From WKDZ Radio Now, a former Christian County, Kentucky athletic director will pay back thousands of dollars after being charged with stealing from the football team and the high school. A judge ordering Steve Lovelace to go ahead and pay back more than $14,000. The charges will be dropped when that amount is paid back to Christian County schools. Lovelace, by the way, coached the Christian County high school football team for 14 seasons before resigning in 2021.
Company isn't helping you with your car, how do you think they're going to deal with you about your injuries? We can help. Call us at 615-242-9000.
.523 is the time. The Tennessee Commissioner on Mental Health and Substance Abuse says that 1 in 4 Tennesseans suffer from some type of mental health, some major, some mild. But one of the biggest issues they're facing right now is substance abuse, drug overdoses, but it's not the same that they have faced in previous years. They say there is a new twist in the war on drugs.
If someone has an addiction issue, they're looking for that substance. If we can get to them, we can also help with them wanting to continue on a substance. So I can say that we're grateful for our partnership with TBI and the help that they do related to the legal ramifications of the overdose.
I feel guilty that this is happening on our watch, and you do too. You do too. Our hearts are in the right place, but these are forces beyond our borders, beyond Tennessee borders, that we cannot control. And as a result, the end result is that we are losing the battle.
Now, some lawmakers are concerned about drug cartels that continue to push illegal drugs across the United States southern border. That's why they want more law enforcement dollars to try and stop the drugs from coming in before people get addicted. They're also talking about more dollars for mental health in schools. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later in the morning.
5:34 your time, taking a look at your weekend outlook. I've changed a couple of things here when it goes Friday into Saturday, and that comes with rainfall timing. Temperatures have not budged at all. Tomorrow afternoon, really literally after 12 o'clock, rain begins to move into our northwesternmost counties, and I would say by about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, a band of showers. It's sometimes heavy rainfall moves through the Nashville area, and then cold air moves in. Saturday, 40 degrees. Showers possible early, but likely our rain is done before you wake up on Saturday. That's good news. So the whole weekend trends will be a little bit drier, but 40 degrees. That is it for the high. Some areas right now, right side of your screen, are already warmer than 40 degrees. Just to give you perspective, 51 will be your temperature on Sunday. Bright sunshine. It's only a 48-hour cool down, but you're going to notice it quite a bit here when you go into your weekend. You can always connect, and you can always find your latest weather updates, especially on our X pages or twitter.com. You could also go to Facebook or Instagram just to connect in general. Get the Fox 17 Code Red Weather app by scanning the QR code right there on your screen or going to the Apple Store or Google Play Store. Justin?
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to I-65 and I-24 as you make that drive in from the north side. As you can see, traffic there moving along really nicely there on the north side. No major problems or holdups here so far for you this morning coming in from the north side of Nashville. We're also watching I-40 at 46th Avenue as you make that drive towards the west side coming in from the Nations. Smooth sailing. Things can bottle up here rather quickly. We'll tell you more about that as the morning goes on. Well, coming up, Representative Mark Green has now announced his retirement from Congress. He's been deeply involved over the past few weeks in a major historic impeachment. We're going to tell you more about that, plus his message for constituents.
Power. Weeknights at 5 on Fox 17. This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Eurostone. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning, just about 5:30 right now on Fox 17 News this morning. The final goodbyes for a Tennessee law enforcement officer killed in the line of duty. How many of our communities have come together around him.
Waking up here to a clear and calm start, just like yesterday. This afternoon, even warmer than yesterday. But I've changed rain timing completely for your Friday. That's coming your way in your Code Red forecast.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-40 near Spence Lane over on the east side of town. Traffic smooth there. We could be picking up a brand new problem, though. We're going to take you there in just a few.
We are off to a busy start, but do want to say thank you for waking up with us here on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get right to the breaking news stories that we're following this morning. In fact, just in to the Fox 17 newsroom moments ago, we have learned from the Lebanon Police Department that the Wilson County Sheriff's Office is currently in this neighborhood that you see here on your screen because somebody who was wanted by Metro Nashville police is barricaded in a home. Now, they say that authorities are at the scene right now in the West End Station neighborhood. The location here on the map that you see on your screen, this is just off Lebanon Road.
Yeah, so right now crews are asking neighbors to stay inside of their homes. We also have our Fox 17 News crew on the way to get some more updates to you, asking those questions, trying to figure out what the heck is going on, because if you're waking up and looking outside of your window in that neighborhood, you might be wondering, oh, how long am I going to be barricaded inside my home? So again, showing you live looks, and we're going to get some more answers for you as soon as possible.
And more breaking news this morning. This comes to us from Antioch, where police say one person has died in an overnight shooting at their place of employment.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar, been there since about 4 o'clock this morning. What have you learned that is new now, Karen?
Well, we just learned that the man that was shot actually was on his break, and he works at that candle making company behind me. He was either inside of his car or outside of his car at the time he was shot in this parking lot. Moments ago, we just saw his silver car being towed away, and we also saw, unfortunately, his body removed from inside of the facility and being taken away. Now, police say that the shooting happened a little after midnight here on Franklin Road near Monroe Crossing, and we don't know the identity of the victim, but a sergeant here tells me that they could be from their 20s to their late 30s. So we are working to find that out for you. Now, we also heard from a sergeant that 2 cars pulled up next to their silver car that was behind me, next to that blue pole, so they believe there may be more than one suspect. At this time, they tell me that no one is in custody. When we have those updates, we will bring them to you. Reporting live in Antioch, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
5:32 here on your Thursday morning. Looking at your forecast, a few things just that are new this morning for you to know as you start your day and get up and get moving. This is the last day with some sunshine to start, at least for now. No more sun on the forecast until we get towards Sunday into Monday. Much colder this weekend. Today, gorgeous in the middle to upper 60s. The weekend, we're lucky if we hit 40. For a high temperature on Saturday. That's where we're going here for this weekend. Rain and snow chances are increasing here in terms of when we'll see them and how long they may last. It's not going to be a high impact event. It's not going to be like Monday. What moves in will be quick, but you're going to get it across the board here as a cold front slides through the area. So what are we watching? We're watching the rain chances. I've changed the timing. Scattered showers begin to move in early afternoon tomorrow through the evening hours. And on the back side of that, after sunset, a few snowflakes are possible, maybe a dusting on a few surfaces, but nothing like the big, wet, heavy snowflakes we saw on Monday. Just a couple of flakes here and there.
Steer clear traffic for you. Let's talk about the very latest happening out there on I-40 near Stewart's Ferry Pike. That's where we've just picked up a stalled car out there on the shoulder of the road. Should not impact your drive a whole lot. Just something to be aware of as you get out and about out there on the roads so far there for you this morning as you make that drive in from Hermitage and from Mount Juliet. It looks to be right at the exit because here comes all the traffic off there. So this would be exit 219 as you make that drive into Nashville here right at the Percy Priest Dam area. Heads up, watch out for that stalled car. Other than that, we're okay on the interstates. We're going to take a look elsewhere coming up in a few.
Justin, thank you. The deputy shot and killed by Kenneth DeHart during a traffic stop last week was laid to rest yesterday. Greg McCowan's funeral was over in Knoxville, where he was escorted from Sevier Heights Baptist Church to Grandview Cemetery. His obituary describes him as full of life and love, and that he was honored to live his life dream of being a police officer.
Deputy McGowan leaves behind his children, Kaylee and Caden, his granddaughter Ella, his mother and father, and his fiance, Lee. At 5:34 right now, we are hearing more now from Tennessee Representative Mark Green, who just announced he is retiring from Congress. Now, new this half hour, Representative Green says, quote, "Our country and our Congress is broken beyond most means of repair. I have come to realize our fight is not here within Washington. Our fight is with Washington."
The Tennessee Republican announcing yesterday he is not going to run for a fourth term. Most recently, he voted yes on bills that protect health care for all Americans and voted no on the Israel Security Supplemental Appropriations Act. That's just naming a few things, okay? It does come one day, though, after the impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
As the chairman of the Committee on Homeland Security, Representative Green spearheaded that impeachment effort by House Republicans. Now, Green did not give a whole lot of details on his plans for the future, but he did say, quote, "As I have done my entire life, I will continue serving this country, but in a new capacity." He is a former member of our military.
All right, IndyCar fans, we have an update. This September, Nashville will not hear the roar of IndyCar engines. That's because the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix is going to move and take place at the Nashville Superspeedway. That's over in Lebanon.
That's a big change. The Big Machine chairman says that construction on the new Titan Stadium is impacting the normal race course. Now, we had a feeling this was coming when we talked to the Grand Prix CEO just this past fall. This race for the last several years has kind of gone in and out through Nashville's downtown streets, across the river on the Veteran Bridge right there, Vietnam Veterans Bridge. For the September 15th race, the Super Speedway in Lebanon makes for an interesting venue change.
It does. It's the first oval-shaped track to host an IndyCar championship in 10 years. Makes you wonder.
Well, they're going to be turning left a lot, like NASCAR drivers. 5:36 right now. We have continuing coverage in the breaking news from overnight. The deadly shooting right during the heart of the Kansas City Chiefs victory parade. We'll get the latest updates.
Being able to pay my bills. I enjoyed you representing me because I knew I had to have the best.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Southeast Financial Credit Union.
Good morning. Welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. As promised, now at the top of the 5 o'clock hour, we have that video from the scene of the Super Bowl parade in Kansas City that turned deadly when shots rang out. We know that parade goers jumped in to tackle a suspected gunman.
Okay, so one video shot by Alyssa Marsh Contreras right here shows police detaining a person near the victory rally. Moments before, people reportedly tackled the man to the ground after gunshots rang out. A person can be heard saying, "When we tackled him, the gun came out."
So an officer was then heard saying, "Hey, I got the gun." Police have not confirmed the person in this video is one of the 3 people in custody right now in connection to that shooting, or whether that person has anything at all to do with it. But one person we've learned this morning, Kansas City radio DJ host Lisa Lopez, died in that shooting. 21 people are injured, and we've learned this morning 15 of those 21 people are in critical condition.
Back here in Middle Tennessee in Operation Crime and Justice, we're going to show you a mugshot of a man right here arrested after a road rage incident after a gun was fired at Tennessee Tech. Officers say Chaz Miller's bullet, well, it shot through the window of a business right near the college while folks were inside. Scary.
Yeah, thankfully nobody was hurt here. Miller, though, now being held on a pretty hefty bond, $150,000.
We're checking it now with Greg because yesterday was just a sneak preview.
Yeah, it's been that up and up the last 2 days where temperatures keep getting better and better, and today we hit the peak. We'll be in the mid to upper 60s later this afternoon, and then we hit imagine sliding down the staircase all the way to the basement. That's where we're going to be as we go in toward the weekend, because the next weather maker is going to be rainy Friday into Saturday. Here's the tracking of it. Today, a couple clouds move in later on this afternoon toward the evening. You start sunny, you end cloudy, but no rain, and we will be in the 60s. Really nice day, despite the lack of sunshine as sun goes down. 3 a.m. going into the early morning hours, a little bit of light rainfall, a couple of little sprinkles for the morning, but then we get toward the afternoon, 2 p.m. Southern Kentucky, you begin to see some heavier downpours move in. By 5 o'clock, this moves to the Nashville area and continues to track toward the east through 9 o'clock. We're going to see maybe even a clap or two of some thunder, and a little light snowfall cannot be ruled out on the backside. A dusting at best. Do not worry about a lot of snow sticking.
Steer clear traffic out there for you at 542. Quick look here at I-40. This is at Stewart's Ferry Pike as you make that drive over into the Hermitage area. As you can see, traffic flowing in. There is a disabled vehicle here on the shoulder. Not causing a big deal, but it could as the morning goes on, as more and more people have to slow down for it. Here are your overall drive times. Kingston Springs into downtown at 26 minutes. Murfreesboro 54. Hendersonville 29 minutes. And from Sumner County.
5:42 is the time right now. Big changes have rippled through the Titans recently, and the Titans have a new philosophy.
With low 1.9% financing up to 60 months. Plus a $1,500 trade-in assist for any SUV trade. Trade-in assist cash now at North Nashville's Nissan of Rivergate in Madison.
Good morning, 5:45 right now. Well, let's take a look at the latest from the Titans here on your Thursday morning. Defense taking a step backward last season, allowing more than 20 points per game. And the Titans' new head coach, Brian Callahan, believes that he has found the man to fix that.
All right, let's hear it. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick has more on the new defensive coordinator as well as their new philosophy.
Titans head coach Brian Callahan said he wanted the best defensive coach he could find to coach the Titans D, and he says he found that in Denard Wilson. Wilson has been a coach in the NFL for 12 years. Most recently was the defensive backs coach for the Baltimore Ravens, where last season the Ravens defense was #1 in points allowed per game. Now, Wilson says that when it comes to the type of defense he wants to build here in Nashville, he says it will have a similar philosophy to what they had in Baltimore. He said they'll play coverage, play man-to-man, and also be multiple in everything that they do.
I could tell you this about the scheme, all right? And I learned this a long time ago. General George Patton said this: nobody ever defended anything successful. You're going to attack and attack some more. We're going to be attacking defense. We're going to be violent in our approach, all right? We're going to be smart. We're going to be intelligent. We're never going to compromise for competing. And that's the style of brand of football that we're going to play around here.
One of the things I always respected about the places Denard's been and the defenses he's been a part of is that ability to be flexible and adaptable to what the scheme on offense is presenting you. Meanwhile, still keeping a core fundamental approach to what is important on the defense, and as Denard has talked about it. But that's, to me, was the most important part schematically. The other part of it was the person. You know, as you guys get to know Denard, as I've got to know Denard, is great energy, really positive, good to be around. He's a guy that I like sitting next to.
One player that Wilson is looking forward to coaching is Titans defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons. Wilson says that not only is Big Jeff a talented, versatile player, but he also has an impact that is contagious.
Man, he has a great personality, outstanding young man. But when you watch him play, he's a big guy. He's versatile. He can play the 3 technique. He can play outside. He's explosive. He has great hands. He can affect the play. He can affect the game by himself. And, you know, to have players like that and put them in positions to have success, it's a wonderful thing coming in here when you have a guy that plays at that level.
Denard Wilson hadn't coached previously with Coach Callahan. However, Wilson did know Titans general manager Rand Carthon from when Carthon was a young scout and Wilson was a young coach starting out in the NFL. He says, though, as soon as he met Coach Callahan, he knew right away that it would be a natural fit for him. Reporting from the Titans practice facility, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
All right, it's certainly going to feel kind of like football season out here today.
Very spring-like. Enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah, Greg?
Yeah, this is one of those days where it doesn't match the calendar. Where you walk outside and you go, is this April? Where are we at right now? And then you're going to walk outside on Saturday and go,
yesterday,
we're
by
back.
the way, yesterday was gorgeous.
I turned the AC on yesterday in the car.
I did too.
It's hot.
That's 3 for 3. I did as well. All three of us did. And today's one more of those days. Well, actually warmer today than yesterday. Best day of the week. It won't be quite as sunny toward the end of the day, but temperatures beautifully warm, mid to upper 60s today. Buckle up, though. We have rain and snow moving in tomorrow. Find your winter coat if you don't know where it's at. You're going to need it Saturday and Sunday morning for sure. Today, though, another nice start to the day. We're all clear. We are cold, but much like yesterday. So if you were comfortable yesterday morning and afternoon, have the exact same type of layering going on with the clothing today and you'll be fine. Grab the sunglasses for the morning. You might not need them for the afternoon. Let's just get straight to your 7-day forecast and break it all down. I mentioned some colder times ahead. Today, 66 for Thursday, 59 degrees tomorrow for your Friday, 40. That's it. 40 degrees for Saturday. Now, I want you to do something for me here. Look up. Take a look to the right side of your screen. A few of us here this morning are above the high temperature that we're going to see on Saturday already, and the sun is not up yet, and it's only 5:49 in the morning. That's how cold we're going to be. We're going to be about 20 degrees colder for the afternoon and the nighttime temperatures. Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Saturday night into Sunday. Good news is it's only a 48-hour little cold spell because we get nice and warm once again Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week.
All right, everyone, steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to I-40 at Stewart's Ferry Pike. That is where we are dealing with a stalled car over here on the shoulder of the road. Authorities not quite there to deal with it yet, but when they do, they're going to force everyone to move over by one lane, and that could be problematic because it's right there at the exit. So heads up as you make that drive in. We're also watching the drive coming in from the south and east side of town. This is I-40 at Waldron Road out there in Laverne. Smooth sailing so far, but in about an hour or so, the same piece of real estate could be a complete parking lot. We'll talk more about that as the morning goes on.
Airline flight attendants are demanding change. We talked about this. Well, Tuesday, a large group showing you right here of flight attendants, they picketed outside of Chicago O'Hare Airport, calling for better pay and working conditions.
Right. So this picket, which is happening in cities across the country, part of that national effort on the part of flight attendants that are representing several unions and different airlines. As of right now, the picket is not happening at BNA, but we just wanted to let you know that it is happening at airports like Chicago and San Francisco. So if you are flying to any of those big cities, know you might run into these picket lines. In international headlines now, Indonesia's unofficial vote tally suggesting the former Army General Prabowo Subianto is on track to win the presidential election. I'm going to tell you why this is controversial in just a second. But right now we know more than 200 million people were eligible to vote in Indonesia's largest single-day election. The results won't be confirmed until next month, but early results show that Subianto won almost 60% of the vote. Here's why this is controversial. This guy is a former general under the Suharto dictatorship, and at one point was not even allowed to enter the U.S. or Australia. So this story will definitely be one we watch closely.
Coming up next, a conspiracy theory that some say is concerning. Have you heard this? Taylor Swift and Joe Biden somehow doing something? Why folks are saying Swift is trying to...
Going on now. With everything on sale, you'll find huge deals throughout the store, including hot buys now up to 50% off. The President's Day sale going on now, only at Ashley.
5:55 is the time this Thursday. Taking a live look at the Nashville skyline. Here it is. It's going to be a beautiful Thursday. Sunshine, 60 degrees. Just imagine a better version of Valentine's Day. But then it does change on Friday. We're talking about the chances for rain showers. It's moving up, the timeline has. So we're going to share your full forecast and how you can plan ahead for your full weekend in just a couple of minutes.
All right, let's get to a story that is trending right now in politics. And this is where the world of entertainment and politics go hand in hand, according to some people. More than half of all Americans now say they have heard of a conspiracy theory involving Taylor Swift and the upcoming election.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I've read about it on social media. Well, the conspiracy theory alleges that Swift is part of a covert government effort to help President Joe Biden get reelected. It did gain some traction in the right-wing media before the Super Bowl. A lot of folks are putting those two things together. There is a university poll that got about 900 adults asking them this question. 46% of those surveyed said, yeah, they've heard about this idea.
18% say they do believe such a government effort actually exists, and 68% say they approve of Taylor Swift encouraging her fans to vote in the upcoming presidential election. So do with that what you will. I know many of you have very strong beliefs on both sides of this current theory that is running around. We're just here to let you know the results of that newest study regarding it. 5:56 right now. Let's send it over to Greg. Absolutely gorgeous Valentine's Day.
Yes.
And now you've got the weekend outlook for us.
Does it look as good? No, it doesn't, unfortunately. But yesterday was great. Today is great, too. But I want you to know what's coming your way. Because, you know, the weekend is always that thing you look forward to. Try to make some plans. Know how to dress when you're going outside. When you have those plans, you're not wearing the same thing today that you're going to wear on Saturday or Sunday. Rain and snow likely Friday into Saturday. Now, that rain-snow combination, most of that snow portion of it, very light, maybe a dusting on a few surfaces overnight into very early Saturday. I'm more concerned about the chilly mornings. Take a look here. Saturday morning, you're waking up to 28 degrees. We're waking up to 23 degrees on Sunday. Jen, Erica, and I just mentioned that we had the air conditioner on in the car yesterday, and we might today. You're going to have the heat cranking up here in about 48 hours from now. Sunday, though, at least it brings us back to near normal, right up near 50 degrees, and then temperatures do get even warmer than that into next week. But the weekend itself, prepare for some cooler times and a fairly cloudy Saturday with the sun re-emerging on Sunday.
Steer clear traffic takes us out to I-24 at Haywood Lane. We do have a crash there on the shoulder right at the exit. What is it about the exits today that's drawing the attention? But here we are, 24 at Haywood. A couple of cars pulled over here waiting on authorities to arrive to take the information or what have you. Could slow things down as you make your way in from Antioch. The other thing we're watching is also right at the exit. Here's a stalled car right at I-40 at Stewart's Ferry Pike. As you make that drive, this is right at the exit. You can't see it until somebody takes it, but it's right here. There's a car doing it now. So heads up in that area. We're going to tell you the best ways to steer clear of both of these coming up in a few.
Let's talk about an issue over in Florida where someone missed the deadline to claim their $36 million Mega Millions lottery ticket. Now, as a result, the winner has forfeited $36 million.
What happened to the ticket? Like, did it get lost? Did they accidentally throw it away? If not, how did you not check the ticket? How do you not know? How do you? Golly.
I'm sick for them. They had 180 days after the drawing to claim the prize, but they missed the deadline.
I'm thinking, what if like 2 months from now, they find this lottery ticket like in the pocket of their car door?
I think in this situation it's better just to never know.
To not ever know, you're right.
Right.
Yeah, because to know, oof. According to Florida law, by the way, 80% of that unclaimed money will now go to the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund, and then the remaining money will be kept to go into the next prize pool.
Can you imagine just telling your spouse that? Oh, don't tell me.
I can't imagine all the feelings that would, like, do you feel like you're about to have a heart attack? Do you have a panic attack? Do you, like, can you not breathe when you realize what you've done?
Hey, there's also a new survey that found that some Gen Z workers would rather turn to artificial intelligence to get career advice than talk to their bosses.
Well, those surveyed said that they are getting better career advice from AI, like ChatGPT, than what their bosses are offering them in person. 62% of Gen Zers say they want to talk to their boss about advancing their career, but they say the boss is just unavailable or maybe not helpful.
Okay. Meanwhile, about 59% of workers among all age groups say they feel their company never helps them explore areas of growth outside of their current department. My question then is, though, if you're asking AI for help,
what are you asking?
It's
what questions are you formatting?
Yes.
Okay. You could also hire a career coach, you know.
That's one option. Stay with us. Our 6 o'clock hour is starting right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning, 6 o'clock on the dot right now. Fox 17 News This Morning is learning more about the major shakeup in Millersville, continuing coverage of the dismissal of the fire chief and the 17 firefighters who just walked off the job.
Police say one man was shot and killed early this morning in Antioch. Coming up, I'll tell you what I've learned from police.
Forecast here changing going into the weekend. Temperatures are going to be cold. We've known that, but rain for your Friday. The timeline completely different than yesterday. We'll tackle that in the forecast.
And steer clear traffic takes us out to I-24 near Haywood Lane, the beginning of the rush hour, and we've already got a couple of things to watch.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We've got you covered as your live local news source through 9 a.m. Let's get right to the breaking news stories of the morning. We begin in Lebanon, where police right now say somebody who was wanted by Metro Nashville police is currently barricaded in a home just off of Main Street there in Lebanon. All right, this is the West End Station neighborhood, also off Lebanon Road there, and they're asking neighbors to stay inside their home. We do have a crew on the way. We'll bring you a live look in moments.
Now to more breaking news this Thursday morning. We're talking about a deadly shooting in Antioch that has claimed the life of one person. It happened early this morning. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is joining us live out there. She's giving us an update on what she's learned since being out there since 4 o'clock.
Good morning. Well, police say they believe it happened right here in this parking lot. And unfortunately, you can still see some blood on the floor. This blood was next to the silver car that we saw earlier. And we also see a trail of blood that leads into the candle wax company behind me that we've identified now as Patty Wax. Police say that the man actually worked there and was on his break when the shooting happened. It happened a little after midnight on Franklin Road near Monroe Crossing. Now, we don't know the identity of the person that was shot. We heard from a sergeant here on scene that he might be in his 20s to late 30s. We are working to find out. Police also tell me that there were 2 cars that pulled up to his car, so that there may be more than one suspect. At this moment, no one is in custody. Reporting live in Antioch, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
6:03, look at your forecast. Always give you the big 3 things to know before you head out the door and lead your way into not just the day, but the rest of the week, the best we can. One more day with high temperatures well above 60. We're going to be in the mid to upper 60s later on this afternoon. If you thought yesterday was good, then today's great. Only difference is a little cloud cover does creep in the second half of today. Friday, rain timing has changed, and it's for the better or for the worse, depending upon when you have plans or what you want to see from this new scenario. Snow chances have gone down, but the chance for a weak thunderstorm or 2 have gone up, and the rain moves in a little earlier, and I'll show you that in future track. Just know that Friday afternoon into the evening, most of our rain comes down during that time period. Snowflakes are possible. Some could stick, maybe a dusting at best. Most of us don't have to worry about it, not like Monday. So we're all clear for code red. Incoming rain and cold, but nothing too aggressive in either one of those categories. 66 perfect degrees later today, 59 tomorrow, 40 on Saturday, and 51 on Sunday. All emphasis and focus is now on the weekend, that rain and the cool down. That's coming up in about 6 minutes in the next check of your coded forecast.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to I-40 at Haywood Lane, dealing with a crash there on the shoulder of the road, slowing things down just a little bit. But what's really slowing things down is just the congestion. So many people getting out there on the road at the same time. We'll do it every single time, and that's what we're dealing with this time of the morning out there, coming in from the places like, Smyrna and Laverne and Antioch there this morning, right here at exit 57. As you make that drive in, you could try Antioch Pike or Murfreesboro Pike is the best way to steer clear. This accident should be cleared out of the way here before long. We're also dealing with a stalled vehicle right here at I-40 at Stewart's Ferry Pike. The fact that they have moved the camera would suggest to me that particular issue is no longer a problem. So we'll continue to watch the roads here for you.
And I know that we do not have adequate fire protection in our city right now. I mean, that's the sad, terrifying part.
In your community, the city of Millersville is left with 1 firefighter after the city fired the chief. And to show their support of the chief and in protest of that firing, 17 of the 18 firefighters walked off the job.
So the big question that we've been working to answer is, what does that mean for safety in Millersville? Well, we have learned that other agencies like Goodlettsville and White House will be stepping in to help. Now, Bryant Kroll, the Millersville city attorney, telling Fox 17 News that the interim city manager for Millersville, Tina Tobin, made the decision to fire the chief of fire, Brandon Head. Now, this comes about a month after Tobin also fired the police chief, which also at the time caused an uproar.
Kroll explains Tobin does not need a reason to terminate, but adds there was an issue with an investigation into police commission cards, where reserve officers were listed as active so they could work as security guards. A lot more updates to come.
Fighting substance abuse here in our state, we have some experts that are now speaking out to our state representatives. Justin McFarland is going to explain what they're asking for in minutes.
And we're showing you another live look this Thursday morning. 6:06 is your time of the Nashville skyline, letting you know that today is going to be a day.
Assist for any SUV trade. Trade in assist cash now at North Nashville's Nissan of Rivergate in Madison.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
.09 is the time, happening now in Lebanon. We are following some breaking news right now. That's where there is an active police presence there in the West End neighborhood. Keep in mind, we're talking about Lebanon here. Do not confuse it with the West End in Nashville. This is the West End neighborhood there in Lebanon, just off of Lebanon Road. We are told that at this point, a suspect wanted from Metro Police has barricaded himself inside of one of the condo units there at this particular complex. We understand that our Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is there on the scene. Excuse me, real quick, I need to contact my producers in the back. Did you say daycare? Is that what this facility is? Okay, we believe this facility could be a daycare. This may be where police have set up command. Okay, as we're getting to zoom in here, yeah, this is the Learning Zone Early Education Center there for children of a certain age, powered by imagination there. I can see, and Kevin, if you can hear me, zoom back out, my friend. You'll be able to see the command center set up there. This is typically where police are keeping contact with each other, not necessarily where the action is, but just where police have set up their mobile command center. The actual barricaded suspect himself or herself, who knows, is probably in the complex back beyond all of this. You see an ambulance there. So all this is on standby where the actual suspect who's barricaded inside the home is not too far from here. So again, this is happening out in Wilson County in Lebanon, where they are trying to get a suspect to come out of a home. We'll continue to follow this scene and let you know exactly what happens. Well, the commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse says that 1.1 million Tennesseans suffer from some type of substance abuse. Now, that includes both drugs and alcohol. It's a problem that continues to grow despite efforts to educate. Listen.
What we're seeing are people buying pills off the street that are fentanyl laced. They're more deadly. And so when we look at overdose numbers, it looks like, wow, are we making a difference? Absolutely. But it's switched. The drug is switched.
Whereas the medical profession cut the prescriptions down, legal prescriptions are down, amount of opioids prescribed are down. However, the cartels have stepped in. That's not your problem. That's a law enforcement problem and problem from our southern border. But the cartels have stepped in so that overall consumption is up. The number of overdoses and deaths are up.
Now, lawmakers continue to be concerned about that. By the way, it's estimated that 1 in 4 Tennesseans suffer from some type of mental health issue, some major, some minor.
6:12 your time, and the big story for us going into the weekend is going to be this. Our next weather maker is going to be rain. It's going to move in starting early afternoon on your Friday and then continue into the evening. It's going to be a brand new update on Future Track. I will show you the hour-by-hour progression of this moving in, coming up in your forecast in less than 7 minutes from right now. In the meantime, we'll take a look at steer clear traffic. Justin?
All right, steer clear traffic. 2 things to point out with this drive. This is going to be I-65 at Long Hollow Pike. This is in the Goodlettsville area. Exit 97, 1 lane shut down because of a crash. You can see police on the scene there, TDOT on the scene there. Looks like they'll be able to get this scene out of the way fairly soon. The other thing to make note of is the sunrise. Look at that sky in the background there, and this is before the sun has even cracked the horizon. So wear those sunglasses today. It's going to be a day for them. Coming up, the latest from the Middle East. Israel's effort to get the Palestinians out of Gaza. And if you're pregnant...
Budgetbreaks.com. Brakes starting at just $100. Alignment starting at $59.99.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Sarah Chevrolet Buick GMC of Nashville.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It is 6:15 right now. Doctors are urging pregnant and postpartum women to get screened for heart conditions.
Well, they say these people are at a higher risk and the issues often go undetected, so it is serious. Fox's Kim Posey has much more.
So you need it for primary prevention.
Christy LeClaire is checking in with her cardiologist, Dr. Manisha Kochar at National Jewish Health.
I was walking around with heart function at 29% for long time.
Again?
The Denver woman says after she had 3 children in 4 years, she never recovered. She was extremely fatigued after exercise. She was always cold and couldn't sleep, but she was misdiagnosed for years.
I've been in heart failure since I was pregnant.
Dr. Kochar says LeClaire suffered from something called peripartum cardiomyopathy, and during pregnancy, her heart was weakened.
Symptoms of this are shortness of breath with exertion, swelling of the body, and these can manifest in pregnancy as it is, so teasing this out is a little hard sometimes.
She also has a congenital heart condition that she was unaware of, but became a problem with pregnancy.
There is a lot more fluid in the body, and so the heart has to work harder to try to compensate for that.
Dr. Kochar recommends screening women for heart disease during and after pregnancy when they're at particularly high risk. She says women should watch out for quick weight gain not typical of pregnancy, swelling of legs, difficulty lying flat, chest, jaw, or neck pain.
Right there. Get your heart checked and insist on the EKG. It can be done in 5 minutes in the doctor's office, and the echocardiogram.
A lot of the diagnosing that came from that is
All right, and right now we want to tap back into the breaking news that we're following live this morning out of Lebanon, where police say somebody who is wanted by Metro Nashville police is currently barricaded in a home. That home is not far from what we're looking at live right now, which is a daycare center just off Lebanon Road. This daycare center also butts right up against the West End Station neighborhood, where that police presence is very active right now.
So in that neighborhood, we're showing you a photo right here. They're asking that neighbors who are probably looking outside of their windows and wondering what's happening. Well, they're asking neighbors to go ahead and stay inside of your home. So again, this is over in Lebanon, the West End Station neighborhood that is near this daycare center where they have set up a command post. We have our crews out there who are working to get closer, but they say right now, you got to stay right here.
Right, and you know, you were talking about people waking up and looking out of their windows and thinking, what's going on? I imagine that's a very similar feeling to the folks who are trying to drop their kids off at daycare.
Oh yeah.
This morning, you know, you're trying to get into the parking lot, you're wondering what's going on, police are directing you. So understanding that folks are probably just going to have a lot of patience this morning. Again, this is in that West End Station neighborhood just off Lebanon Road. We'll be monitoring the breaking news developments as they happen.
6:17 is the time. Greg is monitoring our weather conditions. We're going to have that Tennessee swing that Jen always talks about. 60s today, and then what? 40s?
40 if we're lucky.
And maybe snow?
If we're
40
lucky.
if we're lucky on Saturday. So look at the right side of your screen, y'all at home. Well, we have temperatures right now that are at or above 40 in some spots. We're warmer right now before the sun comes up than we're going to be during the afternoon on Saturday. That is where we're going, and the rain brings us to that position. Taking a look, no rain today. 66 degrees. Fantastic day today. Even better than yesterday. Starting off with some sunshine. Clouds will build in during the afternoon. No rain attached to those, but yeah, a little on the cloudier side during sunset. So not that unlimited sunshine anymore. We're done with that for a while. Taking a look tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. going into 9 a.m. A few isolated little light rain showers. Nothing to write home about, but you could have to use the windshield wipers once or twice for the morning drive. The afternoon, a little more active. Here's 2 p.m. Southern Kentucky, and then moving into Middle Tennessee throughout the afternoon. Here's 5 p.m. and here's 9 o'clock. Some heavy downpours, not lasting all day. You only get a couple hours worth of rain, but when it comes down, you actually could hear a little bit of thunder and see a clap or two of some lightning in the distance. Nothing, though, when it comes to any significant snowfall, but you might get a couple of snowflakes that do wrap around as the colder air moves in. A dusting on a few non-paved surfaces can't be ruled out.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you to I-65 at the Long Hollow Pike exit there, exit 97. Making that drive down from Goodlettsville. We've got Metro Police, or Goodlettsville Police, I would imagine, on the scene here. The leftovers of a crash that you can't see other than a reflection of the lights there. Slight slowdown as you make that drive down from the White House and Millersville area. Overall drive times look something like this. 25 in from Mount Juliet, 70 minutes in right now from Murfreesboro. We'll take a closer look at that drive coming up in a few.
At 6:19, we are following more breaking news. Dire warnings are coming from Capitol Hill about a suspected Russian nuclear program that could target U.S. satellites. If deployed, nuclear arms in space could wipe out U.S. satellite capabilities and then just cripple our world economy. Well, the White House today is going to brief what's called the Gang of Eight. That is congressional and intelligence leaders from both parties. Russia, though, has dismissed all of this, saying it's part of an effort to force Congress to go ahead and approve new aid for the war in Ukraine. This is a breaking news story that we are certainly keeping a close eye on here on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning.
Right now here at home, crisis in the classroom. Student assaults on teachers are on the rise. Last school year, 144 student on staff assaults just in Metro Nashville public schools. And now teachers are sounding the alarm, telling us they have seen a drastic change in student behavior. And I know so many of you who are teachers across the mid-state and Southern Kentucky have been dealing with this on your own local level. Laura Leonard has been a teacher at Metro Nashville schools for 20 years. Leonard says she sometimes worries for her safety since students have assaulted her. But Leonard says the response from administrators upset her even more when she tried to tell them what happened. Leonard says these incidents happen after she tries taking a cell phone away, or if she's issuing some kind of reprimand or consequence for bad behavior. Listen.
I just feel that sadness of disrespect. But what's worse is when the people who are supposed to support me don't believe me.
As part of a special investigation here on Fox 17 News, Amanda Chin with the Metro Nashville Public School response and what changes these teachers want the schools to make.
Some scratched, some didn't, some not, but all with big savings. Town and Country Ford in Madison.
The Good Feet Store, improving people's lives 2 feet at a time.
We are following breaking news this morning from the city of Lebanon. That is where police are continuing on in a standoff there with the suspect. They believe. What do we have going on here, Jen, as we are watching here?
Okay, so this is the West End Station townhomes.
Yes.
This is the neighborhood where police essentially have it all on lockdown and they're telling people not to come out of their homes. This is just off Lebanon Road. It's also right next to the learning zone of Lebanon Daycare, where we have the staging area. So what we're looking at now live is the scene where Metro Police are trying to figure out.
Along with the Wilson County Sheriff's Office. Just want to emphasize this is in Lebanon, Wilson County.
But the reason Metro's involved is because there's somebody in here who's wanted by Metro Police.
Yes.
And so working in tandem here, just got some new updates from our photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey, who was out on the scene. With regards to that nearby daycare center we just showed you moments ago, they will be closed today.
Okay.
As a result of what is happening. So that's the learning zone of Lebanon Daycare that will be closed. Police right now are using that as their staging command area. Also, according to our photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey, who's had a chance to talk to investigators, the person they're trying to get out has 3 warrants outstanding in Metro, 2 for aggravated kidnapping and 1 for aggravated burglary.
Okay, so serious crimes we're talking about here. You're taking a live look there at the SWAT team just outside the complex as, again, they continue on with that standoff. We'll continue to keep you up to date.
Right now at 6:26, let's get a check of the bus stop forecast. If you liked yesterday, you're going to love today. Beautiful start to your Thursday. 42 by 7, 45 by 8, 51 degrees by the time we get to 9 o'clock this morning. Have lunch on the patio. Go for an extra long walk. Get out there and enjoy it. Everything changes tomorrow, and Greg will detail that in minutes.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. A slow go coming down from Goodlettsville. This is going to be I-65 right there at the Long Hollow Pike exit 97. We just had the crews leave this scene a short time ago, and so now both lanes are open. People still taking it slow a little bit, but things should start to loosen up here very, very soon. Overall drive times not bad at all. Mount Juliet at 25 minutes. Murfreesboro still 70 minutes on that drive. Hendersonville at 29 minutes. Here's part of that drive coming in from Rutherford County. This is going to be 24 at Sam Ridley. Things getting slower and slower as you approach that entrance ramp onto I-24.
One of Tennessee's more well-known representatives, Mark Green, announces he's retiring. We'll take a look at what he's done in office this past week and the message to his constituents.
Also next on Fox 17 News this morning, saying goodbye to one of their own.
Brigade in Madison.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
6:30 on the dot, sunshine and 60s today before our next weather maker tomorrow evening into early Saturday morning. We're talking about snow showers. I think I caught your attention.
Right now, steer clear traffic at 6:30. Not looking too bad on your morning commute. This is a check from I-24 at Sam Ridley Parkway. We'll get another update from Justin in just a couple of minutes.
And we're going to start by thanking you for waking up with us here bright and early on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We do want to get straight to the breaking news updates, and we've got several stories developing right now this half hour. We begin in Lebanon. Our photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is live on the scene in the West End Station townhome neighborhood just off of Lebanon Road.
Yes, this is where police say that a wanted suspect is barricaded inside a home. They are alerting neighbors to stay inside. Do not come outside where they're working this very active scene.
Okay, and we've learned some new information about why they're here. It turns out there is somebody who is wanted in Metro Nashville on 3 warrants. 2 for aggravated kidnapping and 1 for aggravated burglary. So they are trying to communicate with this person to get him to come out. Again, this is the West End Station neighborhood there in Wilson County. We've got Wilson County, Lebanon law enforcement, Metro also involved because that's where this guy is wanted right now. So our crews are here stationed. We've also learned in just the last few minutes the daycare center that police right now are using as their command post is going to be closed for the day. That's the Learning Zone of Lebanon Daycare.
Oh, that's a brand new update. All right, we'll continue sharing some more updates on air as we follow this active scene. Now to more breaking news. This time is going to be out of Antioch. That is where we know a deadly shooting happened overnight that took the life of one person. I mean, this was early this morning. Our crew's out there.
Yeah, and Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us now to give us the updates.
Well, police say the shooting happened a little after midnight, and they believe it happened right here in this parking lot. You can still see the person who was shot's blood on the ground next to me. It was right beside a silver car that we showed you earlier. That car has now been towed away, and if you follow me, you can see that there is a trail of blood on the ground leading up to that candle waxing company behind me that we've identified as Patty Wax. Now, police tell me that the person who was shot actually worked there and was on his break when he was shot. A sergeant here also tells me that they saw 2 cars pull in, meaning there was probably more than one suspect. Now, as for the man who was shot, we are working to figure out who he was and also how old he was. Police say at this time, no one is in custody. Reporting in Antioch, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
6:33 your time and taking a look at your forecast. You're waking up on a Thursday morning and things are looking very nice. What is new this morning? Rain timing for the weekend. Today is our last day. Starting off with some sunshine. Sun not quite up just yet. About 15 minutes from now will be that sunrise. Much colder for the weekend. That has not changed. Been talking about that the last few days, and that is the big thing to carry us into Saturday and Sunday. Rain and snow chances have gone up, but the timing is the bigger thing here when it comes into the overall scope. Taking a look, scattered showers for your Friday. They'll start as early afternoon and could even give you a rumble of thunder. No severe weather outlook for us, so don't worry about that. And then a chance for some snow showers very late in the stage of the game here. When it comes to after sunset, it's not going to be like Monday where we have those wet, big snowflakes that stick quickly. Maybe a dusting on a few paved surfaces. 43 degrees temperature right now. We're mainly clear for the rest of today, and we're going to keep temperatures climbing, even warmer than yesterday. 66 degrees, 36 degrees overnight tonight. There's that cool down toward the weekend. We'll time that rainfall out for you on Future Track in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic. Let's check in at I-40 at Long Hollow Pike. This is on the north side. Traffic making its way in, despite the fact we do have that crash on the shoulder of the road. So heads up there. Tow truck is there to take care of the remainder of that. Get that out of the way so it'll be smooth sailing after that, coming down from the Goodlettsville area. One more area to check out, and that's over here in I-40 in the Dawson area, very close to Briley Parkway. Got a disabled, what looks like an airport-related vehicle. A shuttle bus perhaps broken down on the side of the road. I'm sure authorities are coming to help it. Unsure how many people may be on board, but please watch out for them as they're on the side of the road there along I-40.
Justin, thank you. Continuing coverage now on Jillian's Law, a measure that would keep people who are found incompetent to stand trial from being released without treatment. It's named after Jillian Ludwig, the Belmont University student killed by a stray bullet back in November.
Well, police say it was fired by Shaquille Taylor, who was found incompetent to be tried for another violent crime last spring. The bill has been racing towards being passed over in our state legislature, but it's now on hold until the budget is passed, all because it would cost about $2 million a year. We have done extensive coverage about this story, so if you want to read more about Jillian's Law, go to fox17.com and again, just search Jillian's Law Update.
The deputy shot and killed here in Tennessee last week has now been laid to rest. This is video from the service inside a church there in Knoxville for Greg McGowan. This is where they had that funeral with full honors, escorted from Sevier Heights Baptist Church to Grandview Cemetery there. His obituary describes the deputy as full of life and love, that he was honored to live his life's dream of being a police officer. McGowan leaves behind his children Kaylee and Caden, his granddaughter Ella, his mother and father, and his fiance Lee. Now, in the meantime, the man suspected in his death, Kenneth DeHart, is still in custody.
6:36, we're talking about politics, letting you know that Representative Mark Green is retiring from Congress. That update coming yesterday. The Tennessee Republican announcing that he is not going to run for a fourth term. This does come one day after the impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
Yeah, Representative Green, the chairman of the Committee on Homeland Security that spearheaded all of these efforts. As for right now, he has not announced his specific plans for the future, but as former member of our military who served his country, he's also a doctor. He says he will continue to serve his country, just in a different way. We'll let you know as we learn more.
Making headlines this morning is continuing coverage of the shooting in Kansas City yesterday during that Super Bowl celebration. We're going to share some new
Pillows, I have no idea. Aha! It ends 8 p.m. President's Day at Sprints.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Destin Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
6:39 is the time. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. We continue to follow the breaking news out of the city of Lebanon this morning out in Wilson County. That is where a suspect has barricaded himself inside of a townhome out there. You can see our photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey trying to get a better look at the scene there, where the SWAT team is now allowing people to leave the complex one by one. Looks like they were talking to each and every one of the drivers, maybe checking their car to make sure this guy doesn't make an escape in another way there.
Well, Lebanon police did say they put out the notice through their social media account, so we can pass it along to you, that they said if anybody somebody needed to get out of this townhome complex, that they would personally let you know and get you out of there. So yes, to your point, Justin, that is what we are seeing, but still a very active scene. We've got a command post set up at the learning zone of Lebanon Daycare. That is also closed for the day as a result of what's going on here. So we'll monitor this situation for you. We'll let you know just as soon as police are able to either make communication or bring a resolution to all of this with live updates through 9 a.m.
We are also following breaking news when it comes to international headlines. If you're just now waking up, want to bring you up to speed on how Russian authorities say 5 people were killed in a missile strike on the city of Volgograd. Now, city leaders say Ukraine missiles hit a shopping center and a school stadium. They say 18 people were hurt. And right now, there are different numbers when it comes to the number of people who were killed. So we're working to really pin that down. Russia's Ministry of Defense says air defense systems destroyed 14 missiles over the city that were launched by Ukraine. All of this happening overnight. More updates to come.
Well, we are getting a brand new look this morning at some of the scene right after that Super Bowl parade and that unfortunate shooting in Kansas City.
Yeah, we've learned this morning one person has lost their life. We'll get to that update in just a moment. But first, new video from Alyssa Marsh Contreras, who was there when it all happened. What you'll see here is police detaining somebody right near the victory rally. Moments before this, there were people watching the parade who tackled a guy to the ground after the gunshots ran out. Police have not confirmed that the person in this video is one of the 3 people that they have in custody right now. But I mentioned a death connected to all of this. It's a Kansas City radio disc jockey named Lisa Lopez Galvan, who died. We understand that 21 people are injured, and of the 21, 15 have life-threatening injuries.
In the meantime, let's get to Greg Bowles. He's standing by with a look at your Thursday forecast.
Yes, quick look at that forecast because not much to know about today. Today, 66 degrees and sunshine leads to clouds, but no rain. A nice day, a little bit cool right now in the 30s and 40s. Tomorrow, 59. The weekend is the big dip in temperature, 40 on Saturday and 51 on Sunday. So how do we go from 66 to 40? Weathermaker moves in. It's a cold front. Taking a look today, it'll bring in some clouds late in the day, and then tomorrow, very early in the morning, the chance for an isolated little sprinkle or two cannot be ruled out. Not a big deal for the morning, but the afternoon, rain gets much more, not necessarily aggressive, but organized. It figures out a nice line worth of showers and maybe even a few weak thunderstorms tracking noon through 5 p.m. and then 9 o'clock. Once the rain exits, cold air moves in very quickly. That's how we go from 66 to 40 degrees on Saturday.
Steer clear traffic this morning takes us to the north side. This is going to be I-65 there at Long Hollow Pike. We were dealing with a crash there earlier in the morning. Thankfully, they've been able to completely clear it, so no more problems from up there in the Sumner County side of things. Here is I-40. We're still watching this disabled shuttle bus from around the airport area at I-40 near Bradley. Not causing a big concern yet, but when authorities get there, it will cause one-lane closure.
6:43 is the time right now. The winds of change blowing through our Tennessee Titans and the new philosophy.
Love and more.
You told me I am fake.
True.
Tonight at 7 on Fox 17.
The Good Feet Store, improving people's lives 2 feet at a time.
6:45 is the time here on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning. We are following this breaking news situation out in Lebanon. This is where police say that a suspect wanted by Metro Nashville police is barricaded inside a home, and we're getting constant updates.
We are, and so our photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is here on the location. We are at a distance here close to a daycare center, which is right next door to this neighborhood. That's the learning zone of Lebanon Daycare, where police have set up a command central, if you will. The person who they're trying to get out of a townhome here is wanted out of Metro Nashville. 3 warrants in all, 2 for aggravated kidnapping, 1 for aggravated burglary.
Yeah, so crews say this is on the West End Station neighborhood, again off of Lebanon Road. And they're asking neighbors, as you might imagine, just to stay inside their homes as they work this scene. Also want to mention that daycare that you were talking about, it is going to be closed for today.
Yeah, we've watched police allow some people to leave this neighborhood, but just one by one after police have cleared them. And just to give you just a little bit more perspective, we're mentioning just off Lebanon Road. This is near the Publix grocery store and the Cumberland Animal Hospital. More live updates in minutes.
In Operation Crime and Justice, though, a man is facing charges in what police call a road rage shooting right near Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, concerning here for sure. Officers say the man on your screen is Chaz Miller, and that He fired a shot through the window of a business near the college while people were inside. Now, thankfully, nobody was hurt in all of this, and Miller right now being held on a $150,000 bond.
All right, you hear the music. We're talking about sports and taking a look at the latest from the Titans. The Titans defense took a step backwards last season, allowing more than 20 points per game. And Titans' new head coach, Brian Callahan, believes that he has found the man to fix that.
Got to go in a new direction. Fox 17 sports director Jill Jelnick with more on the new defensive coordinator as well as the new philosophy.
Titans head coach Brian Callahan said he wanted the best defensive coach he could find to coach the Titans D, and he says he found that in Denard Wilson. Wilson has been a coach in the NFL for 12 years. Most recently was the defensive backs coach for the Baltimore Ravens, where last season the Ravens defense was #1 in points allowed per game. Now, Wilson says that when it comes to the type of defense he wants to build here in Nashville, he says it will have a similar philosophy to what they had in Baltimore. He said they'll play coverage, play man-to-man, and also be multiple in everything that they do.
I could tell you this about the scheme, all right? And I learned this a long time ago. General George Patton said this: nobody ever defended anything successful. You're going to attack and attack some more. We're going to be attacking defense. We're going to be violent in our approach, all right? We're going to be smart. We're going to be intelligent. We're never going to compromise for competing. And that's the style of brand of football that we're going to play around here.
One of the things I always respected about the places Denard's been and the defenses he's been a part of is that ability to be flexible and adaptable to what the scheme on offense is presenting you. Meanwhile, still keeping a core fundamental approach to what is important on the defense, and as Denard has talked about it. But that's, to me, was the most important part schematically. The other part of it was the person. You know, as you guys get to know Denard, as I've got to know Denard, is great energy, really positive, good to be around. He's a guy that I like sitting next to.
One player that Wilson is looking forward to coaching is Titans defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons. Wilson says that not only is Big Jeff a talented, versatile player, but he also has an impact that is contagious.
Man, he has a great personality, outstanding young man. But when you watch him play, he's a big guy. He's versatile. He can play the 3 technique. He can play outside. He's explosive. He has great hands. He can affect the play. He can affect the game by himself. And, you know, to have players like that and put them in positions to have success, it's a wonderful thing coming in here when you have a guy that plays at that level.
Denard Wilson hadn't coached previously with Coach Callahan. However, Wilson did know Titans general manager Rand Carthon from when Carthon was a young scout and Wilson was a young coach starting out in the NFL. He says, though, as soon as he met Coach Callahan, he knew right away that it would be a natural fit for him. Reporting from the Titans practice facility, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Jill. Time right now is 6:50. Taking a look here at what we're dealing with this morning, and it's honestly a better start than yesterday. We're already at 43 degrees, and the sun just came up a couple minutes ago. We have a clear sky for right now. Enjoy the morning sun. It will lead to some cloud cover later on this afternoon. Maybe you're an early morning exerciser, whether you're going to be out and about, literally outside exercising, or maybe you're just lacing up the sneakers to go to the gym. Here's what you can expect. The sunshine and 40s lead to 51 degrees at 9 a.m., 55 at 10. And then maybe after that you want to, kind of load up on some food, get that post-workout lunch going. 58 degrees at 11, 62 at noon, and 63 at 1 p.m. This is the best day so far this week, and the last 2 were great. I'll tell you right now, though, coming up in the next check of your forecast, we're going to do it before we even get to 7 o'clock. We are changing the rainfall timing and how much we could see for tomorrow into the upcoming weekend. That is coming your way in less than 5 minutes from right now.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A chilly morning time view of Fraser, Colorado. More snowfall is expected there in the coming days. Meanwhile, this chime-in submission from the Providence area shows a focused cat on a frozen pool. Kind of looks like it's using its paws to play hockey. And to look back at this sample of Valentine's Day sunrises with color that can rival any candy conversation hearts.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you to I-24 at Blue Hole Road. This is over there in the Antioch area. You can see for yourself the traffic there doing, well, not well. It's a little slow over there because of some backup, some congestion happening in that area. So heads up as you make that drive in from Antioch. Things could be a little bit slow for you. Best way to steer clear, Antioch, Pike, or perhaps Murfreesboro Road could be a good way for you to deal with that. Other than that, we're doing pretty well. This is going to be I-40 here from 46th Avenue over on the west side of town as you make your way through the nation. Smooth traffic so far. Things could bunch up as we move into our 7 o'clock hour.
Justin, thank you. In business news now, airline flight attendants are demanding change, and you can see them right here. Tuesday, this large group of flight attendants picketing. This was outside of Chicago O'Hare Airport. They're asking for better pay, and they want some better working conditions. Now, this picket line is part of a national effort by flight attendants that we've talked about here, representing several unions and airlines.
As of right now, the picket is not happening at BMA, but we're letting you know because if you're going to airports like Chicago or San Francisco, you could definitely run into the picket lines. We'll get you updates as they come in, both on air and online at fox17.com.
All right, 6:53 is the time. We're talking about conspiracy theories. Have you seen this one? It's between Taylor Swift and President Joe Biden. We're going to explain why folks are saying Swift is trying to get Biden reelected.
Still to come on Fox 17 News this morning in our 7 o'clock hour, Dennis Ferrier.
Someone hit you. Insurance companies could put us out of business if they wanted to. All they have to do is be fair. But they're not. I can help.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 6:55 is your time. Nearly half of all Americans say they have heard of the theory involving Taylor Swift and the upcoming presidential election. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of this.
Okay.
Well, the conspiracy theory alleges that Swift is part of a covert government effort to help President Joe Biden get reelected. It really did gain a lot of traction in some right-wing media outlets before the Super Bowl. There is a now newly out university poll that asked about 900 U.S. adults, and 46% of those surveyed said, yeah, they've heard about this idea. 18% say they do believe such a covert government effort actually exists. 68% say they approve of Swift encouraging her fans to vote in the upcoming presidential election. We share this story with you just to make your own conclusions and do with the information what you will.
There you go. And you know what? If you don't like any of the candidates, there's a blank space, baby. You can just write someone else's name.
I know what you did there.
You can put whoever you want because this is America. Taking a look here at the week ahead, we have forecast temperatures going to be in the 60s today, 59 degrees tomorrow. This is the big change. Let's get right to it. We have the timing that is different for rain than it was yesterday when you were waking up with us. We've moved it up a little bit in the day. Today, cloud cover by 5 p.m. and then taking a look by tomorrow morning, we'll wake up with you. We'll track a couple of little light rain showers. Maybe the windshield has to go, the wipers once or twice in the morning, and then you're good. The afternoon, 2 p.m., and this is even different from an hour ago. We're getting these updates in real time with you here, working through the process. We're going to see 2 p.m., Southern Kentucky begins to see a few showers and storms. By 5 o'clock, we'll see a few more showers. And when I say storms, I mean a boom of thunder. We're not worried about severe weather by any means. Cold air moves in very quickly after 9 p.m., so all these little splotches of green you see here may end up transitioning over to a little bit of light snowfall, and we could see a dusting in a few areas. It's not going to be like Monday. Don't worry about that, but cold air does move in Saturday into Sunday. Saturday's high, only 40 degrees.
Greg, thank you. Steer clear traffic time right now, just a few minutes before 7 o'clock. I know this is a time of day when a lot of you are getting ready to head out the door. Do want to warn you about the backup on I-24 this morning coming in from southeast of town. This is I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway. Big backup. Pretty much every lane of traffic is going to be bumper to bumper, stop and go. This is your standard commute, though. We don't see any major crashes. Just know that you might need a few extra minutes to get into Nashville. Also, keeping a very close eye on big delays north of Nashville, I-65 in Millersville. You're at a near standstill. If you're up in the White House this morning, you might want to take 31 as your detour, and a big old backup on Vietnam Veterans Boulevard in Hendersonville. We'll get more checks and steer clear traffic in our 7 o'clock hour.
Hey, question. Can you imagine winning $36 million and then just losing it?
Nope.
Stay with me here. Okay, over in Florida, there is someone who, yes, won $36 million on their Mega Millions lottery ticket, but they haven't claimed the money.
So they went past the deadline to claim said money, 180 days, and never came forward.
Oh.
According to Florida law, that money is now going to go somewhere else. 80% of it is going to go toward their education fund in Florida. The rest of the money is going to go into the prize pool. But Eric and I were just trying to wrap our brains around this. I mean, did you accidentally throw it away?
You just don't know that you won?
Did you leave it in a pocket somewhere and you had no idea?
Was it in the washing machine?
And then what happens if, like, months from now, you find this random ticket?
And we both agreed that we just don't even want to know. Because we'll be too sick.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, just about a minute before 7, and the man who helped change the face of breakfast by inventing the Pop-Tart has recently died.
Oh, William Post creating the first toaster pastry in the 1960s, which would later become the iconic Pop-Tarts. In later interviews, Post said that he knew Pop-Tarts would be a success because his children, they loved them. By the way, Post was 96 years old.
Yeah, I mean, they would love them. They're full of sugar. Okay. Hey, it is time to celebrate the illustrious hippopotamus. Today, did you know this?
No.
Is World Hippo Day. Bringing awareness to the vulnerable giants, which are the 3rd largest land mammal in the world. Of course, they primarily live near rivers, lakes, and swamps. Not around here, except at the zoos.
Not the Cumberland River.
And you know, now listen, you never know. Yeah, I'm just saying, you never know, but you should only see them at the zoos around here. And did you know this? Fun fact for the morning, share it with the kids. Hippos secrete their very own sunscreen.
The more you know.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Fox 17 News following multiple breaking news stories. Crews are on the scene of this barricaded situation in the West End Station neighborhood of Lebanon Road, giving you some updates and important news for parents there.
And a man is dead after a shooting at a candle company in Antioch. Fox 17 News crews live there this morning for this breaking news. We'll have more updates there in minutes.
Coming up in just a little bit, I have an update on the baby who died under the watch of a caregiver.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here bright and early on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source, always here for you from 7 until 9 a.m. And let's get right to the breaking news we're following here for you this morning.
Yes, the first story out of Lebanon, that is where police say a suspect wanted by Metro Police. Well, they are barricaded inside a home, and we have been out there trying to track down what's going on.
High impact to the West End Station townhome neighborhood just off of Lebanon Road. Our photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is there live right now. We understand there is somebody who is barricaded in one of these townhomes with 3 active warrants out of Nashville, 2 for aggravated kidnapping, 1 for aggravated burglary. Authorities, as you can see here, very much combing this neighborhood, trying to communicate, we understand, with whoever is inside.
Yeah, and at one point they were saying if you're living in this neighborhood, just stay inside. And then you mentioned earlier, Jim, we saw that some folks were slowly making their way out. Car by car, they were stopping folks and trying to figure out, hey, do you know anything about what's happening?
Right. Also worth noting, this neighborhood is right next door to the Learning Zone of Lebanon daycare, and that daycare is where police have set up their central command. Therefore, that daycare is closed today. So that's going to have a high impact on all those families who would typically be dropping off their kids this time of the morning. And here you can see it. Kevin, thanks so much for kind of zooming around so that we can see that location. So a lot going on here. We are monitoring these updates every couple of minutes, and we'll be bringing them to you live through 9.
And at the same time, we have another update on a story we brought you as breaking news around 4 o'clock this morning. A man is now dead after being shot overnight. This situation happening over in Antioch in a parking lot.
Yeah, so interesting details coming in here. Officials say the shooting happened right around midnight. This is the 2900 block of Old Franklin Road in the parking lot of a candle making company. Now, this is where we understand, according to police, a man was on his break from working that overnight shift at the candle company. He went out to his car. Somebody or some people shot him. He ran back inside trying to get help from his co-workers.
So far, police say the shooting does not appear to be a targeted incident, but there could be more than one shooter that they're trying to track down. The investigation is ongoing, so we're going to continue asking those questions and get you some updates throughout 9 o'clock.
7:03 right now, also working to get new information on the unlicensed daycare in South Nashville where a 6-month-old baby died just last week. This is a story that we've been keeping you posted on for the last few days.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar has been busy making calls and speaking with the parents involved in this. Karen, what can you tell us and where are you at exactly?
Well, I'm actually right outside of that 1-bedroom apartment where police say that 6-month-old unfortunately died. Now, this is as close as we can get for the moment, but the Tennessee Department of Human Services filed a temporary restraining order to stop the 33-year-old woman, Lourdes Hernandez, from operating. The restraining order is a measure to prevent this from happening to other kids. Police say there were 10 kids inside the apartment the day the infant died. Now, court documents that we've acquired say that some of the children were crying and had full diapers. Lourdes Hernandez charged $25 a day per child, according to investigators. Hernandez said the infant was sleeping and became unresponsive. Medical examiner is still determining the cause of death for the child. Now, TDHS told Fox 17 News in part, quote, "We are aware of the fatality that occurred last week. Child care provider was not licensed through our child care licensing program and appears to have been operating illegally." That's only part of the statement. We'll have more coming up for you in the next half hour, along with sound from the mother. Along with sound from the caregiver. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
7:05 is out here, and the 3 things to know with your weather when you're getting out the door here, leading yourself closer and closer to the weekend. The first one, we have one more day well into the 60s. And when I mean well into it, we're talking a minimum of 66 degrees for the high temperature later on this afternoon. Pretty good place to be. Right side of your screen, we're not near there yet. 30s and 40s, but we'll get there. Friday, rain timing has changed. I'm moving it up in the day. Initially, earlier in the week, it looked like it was going to be around dinner time into the overnight. Now we're talking afternoon, evening into the first half of the night. And I have a new look at future track for you, so we'll time it out hour by hour. Also, some snowflakes that could potentially stick. But think back to Monday. That's not how we're going to be. It will not be as aggressive in terms of how big the snowflakes are or the accumulation that we could see. We're all clear for code red, just tracking that incoming rain and the cold air behind it. You might ask, what cold air? Maybe you haven't been tuned into the weekend just yet. 40 degrees. That is your temperature on Saturday for the high temperature. We're warmer than that in most areas already here at 7:06. 51 on your Sunday. We will look in depth into that rain chance tomorrow and your upcoming weekend in about 5 minutes. The next check of your Code Red forecast.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to the Vietnam Veterans Boulevard area. Vietnam Vets Boulevard coming down from the Hendersonville area there, Goodlettsville as well. This is part of your drive, and it's a slow one coming down Vietnam Vets. So far, no accidents out there, just a lot of congestion. Let me show you what it looks like here. 39 minutes on that drive. Look at all of that traffic right here from Conference Drive all the way back to New Shackle. You could try to take Gallatin Road right here, but yeah, it's got problems too. School zones and traffic lights and fast food aplenty, slowing things up. Also coming up, the commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse says that the number of people who are dying because of drugs continues to rise. We're going to tell you why lawmakers are concerned that the drug problem is beyond their control.
And Sweet Jordan's unique workplace hiring people with
moisture in their crawl space. But don't worry, we got this.
At AFS, we'll do a home inspection for free.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
7:10 is the time here on this Thursday morning. The commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse says that 1.1 million Tennesseans suffer from some type of substance abuse disorder. That includes both drugs and alcohol. It's a problem that continues to grow despite efforts to educate everyone about the danger. Now, the commissioner says the best way to fight it is not just trying to get the people who are on drugs off of them, but to stop people from getting hooked on them in the first place.
I've hit rock bottom twice in my life, and I know a little something about it. thank the Lord, the last one's been 21 and a half years ago, so that's a good thing.
That's awesome.
Lord's been good to me. But it takes a lot to work through recovery, and what I'm learning here is there's not really one silver bullet. It takes a team, and it takes all different kinds of aspects of recovery to.
How people are taking drugs and what they're dying of has absolutely changed from 10 years ago. What I can tell you is my friend at TBI, Director Roush, has asked for more agents so that he can respond to this issue. He needs staff just like we need people in the field to help individuals recover and want to recover.
Now, the commissioner also says it is estimated that 1 in 4 Tennesseans suffer from some type of mental health issue, some major, some minor.
7:11 your time, and right now we're all cleared for Code Red going into the weekend, but we're not going to be perfect when it comes to the weather pattern that we're settling into. Rain returns tomorrow, so enjoy today's beautiful day at 66 degrees. The sun is out there for right now, but clouds are going to increase here going through the afternoon. Yeah, by 5 o'clock, we're fairly cloudy. Still some bursts of sun, but not that unlimited sunshine. Tomorrow morning, waking up 3 o'clock to 9 a.m., these little splotches of green on the radar. Not a whole lot to worry about, but a couple of isolated showers are going to be out there. By 2 p.m., a line of showers and some decent downpours move in, maybe even a rumble or two of thunder. No severe weather, but by 5 p.m., so your second commute tomorrow, not the morning, but the afternoon one, you have to watch out for as far as the rain coming through. On the backside of this, look at this is new. But I was calling for this about 2 hours ago, and now the forecast models are agreeing with me. Weather gets a little bit colder when it comes to temperatures, and we could see a few snowflakes flying on the back end. Not a whole lot of it's going to stick, maybe a dusting in a few spots. The rain really is just the big feature here that's going to move in a little earlier in the day than we thought. Justin?
Circular traffic for you this morning takes us out to I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. You can see that drive into town right here. It's a bit of a slowdown as you make that drive in, and it will continue to do so. It's going to get slower than this before the end of the hour. You can try to take Murfreesboro Pike, but it too is slow. Is it this slow? Well, probably. This is going to be Vietnam Veterans Boulevard coming in from Sumner County this morning. It's around 40 minutes on this drive. You could try to take Gallatin Road. That's the road down below it here, but don't let the speeds here fool you. Things get real slow, real fast down there as well. Well, coming up, students. Assaults on teachers are on the rise. Coming up in a minute, we're going to hear from one local educator and discuss how teachers feel that the school district can make some positive changes moving forward. Plus, the city of Millersville is left with just one firefighter on duty.
We prefer to earn your loyalty by giving you our best offer up front. So, find your dream cookie or vehicle at sarahnashville.com.
Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us here on Fox 17 News this morning, where we continue to keep you updated on the breaking news of the morning out of Lebanon, where police say somebody wanted by Metro Police is holed up in a townhome. This is in the West End Station neighborhood.
Yeah, we understand this person is wanted for 2 aggravated kidnapping charges and then 1 for aggravated burglary, so it's serious.
It has shut down a nearby daycare center. This is just off Lebanon Road near the Publix and the Cumberland Animal Hospital. We understand that the Lebanon daycare right there at this neighborhood is closed today because that's the current command post for police. So as far as we understand, they are still trying to get communication with this person. As we get any more updates, we'll be bringing them to you here live through 9.
7:16 is the time, and this morning in Crisis in the Classroom, student assaults on teachers are on the rise. Last school year, there were about 344 students and staff assaults at Metro Nashville schools.
Fox 17 News reporter Amanda Chin spoke with teachers to find out how they feel the district could be doing things better. Good morning.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. Well, teachers in Nashville tell me there are times they don't feel safe going to school, but it makes it even harder when they don't feel supported by the district. Laura Leonard has been a teacher at Metro Nashville schools for 20 years. Leonard says she sometimes worries for her safety since students have assaulted her. But this teacher says the response from administrators upsets her even more when she tries to tell them what happened. Leonard says these incidents happen after she tries taking his cell phone away or if she's issuing some kind of reprimand or consequence.
I just feel that sadness of disrespect. But what's worse is when the people who are supposed to support me don't believe me.
That's a tough spot to be in. And Amanda, are these stories that you hear about frequently?
Yeah, I mean, here at Fox 17 News, we've covered student on teacher assaults pretty often. I know a few months ago, last May, we covered an Antioch high school teacher.
That's the first one that came to mind.
Yeah, exactly, who got pepper sprayed for taking a cell phone away.
Yes.
And then later on, another video came out of that same teacher getting punched in the head multiple times for, again, taking a cell phone away. And these are teachers who, you know, have experienced something similar, or maybe not to the same extent, but a lot of it is when they take these cell phones away. It's a common theme that I've been hearing from all of these teachers. And coming up tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, I'll have that full story as well.
All right, looking forward to that, because I know this is something that teachers everywhere can relate to.
Yes.
It doesn't matter, you know, where you live or where you teach. These are broad concerns. We'll look forward to that report, Amanda. Thank you.
We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist. We're going 60s to snow. What?
Oh, you had to go there. But it's true. That's where we're going. Now, it's not going to be like Monday. We went from 60s to heavy rain to thunderstorms to giant snowflakes. This is a way low impact event compared to that, but it's going to happen. 66 degrees later this afternoon. Best day of the week by far. Now, it'll be a little cloudier toward the end of the day than yesterday and the day before, but right now the sun winning the game. Buckle up, though, for some rain and some snowflakes that will be there. It's not going to be a big deal, but there could be a dusting on a few surfaces when you wake up on Saturday morning, and that's not going to really cause much concern as far as, again, impact. The big impact is, do you know where your winter coat's at? Or maybe you put it away for what you thought was the end of winter. We're in February. Go get it out. You're going to want it Saturday and Sunday morning. Taking a look here downtown. Beautiful look at the skyline. We had no visibility issues this morning. Weather has not gotten in your way. Temperatures are already in the 40s. 45 degrees here in the coming hour. 51 will be your temperature at 9 o'clock, and then 58 at 11. So if you're getting breakfast, whether it's just sitting right now, you know, table, inside, couch, maybe you want to go grab breakfast somewhere and actually, you know, get out of the house for a few minutes. You have the ability to do so. Nothing in your way. This is the big story of the weekend. 40 degrees on Saturday, 51 on Sunday. We have to unpack this more for you coming up in a few minutes because the timeline of rain for Friday into Saturday has changed. Temperatures have not, but rain could get in the way for more of your Friday than initially anticipated earlier in this week with those cooler temperatures right after it.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning on this Thursday. Let's get you out the door at the latest happening down there in Franklin. This is going to be I-65 down there in Cool Springs. You can see the traffic really starting to build up and back up near Moore's Lane out there, and the backup is going to extend back for a little bit down there. So heads up, this is just congestion, no major crash to tell you about. Just a lot of people getting out there and cramming out there on the road. Here are your drive times. 52 minutes in from Mount Juliet, nearly an hour and a half coming in from Murfreesboro right now. So heads up on that situation. 47 minutes down from Hendersonville.
To see all those guys bring their stuff in and turn it in, it was mixed emotions. I mean, of course, very humbling, but also it scares me because I'm a resident in the city and I have a home and I have a family, and you know, we rely on the city to provide police and fire protection.
In your community, the city of Millersville is left with one firefighter after the city fired the chief and everybody else quit the department. 17 of Millersville, 18 firefighters. They just walked off the job to show their support for the chief in opposition to his firing.
Yeah, and we just heard from the chief there firsthand. He talked with Fox 17 News. What does it mean for your safety and fire response in Millersville? He expressed that concern. Well, we have learned new from overnight that White House and Goodlettsville fire departments will be stepping in to help. We also talked with Bryant Kroll, the Millersville city attorney, who told us the interim city manager is Tina Tobin, and that Tina Tobin is the one who made the decision to fire the former fire chief, Brandon Head.
Yeah, this does come about 1 month after Tobin fired the police chief, which also caused a lot of uproar there. So now many people are wondering what led up to these big changes in leadership and what will happen during emergencies with such a short staff. City leaders say through their mutual aid agreement that you talked about, cities of White House and Goodlettsville, they will assist and step in
if needed. Okay, Jillian's Law, something we've been talking about a lot lately. It is now on hold. We'll tell you about the speed bump that's keeping this mental health legislation from moving forward.
And as a
see with low 1.9% financing up to 60 months. Plus a $1,500 trade-in assist for any SUV trade. Trade-in assist cash now at North Nashville's Nissan of Rivergate in Madison.
7:25 is the time. Let's take you out to Lebanon. That's where we continue to follow the breaking news there. There is a suspect wanted by Metro Police barricaded inside of a townhouse out there in Lebanon. You can take a look there past the crime scene command center. You can see Metro Police there with the SWAT team as they continue to wait and trying to get the suspect to come out of a home there. He is wanted for several crimes, 3 in fact. Aggravated kidnapping, I believe, is among them, Jen.
Yeah, aggravated burglary, another, and he's wanted out of Nashville, so wanted out of Metro, which is why we see Metro Police here on the scene working in conjunction with those Wilson County law enforcement.
Okay, we can see Metro Police now aiming a rather large, long rifle there at a home. But I'm not sure if they've been doing this all morning or if this is a recent development.
Well, they've definitely been all congregated around these 2 cars right here for, I'd say, about the last 30 minutes. So they've really not moved position. They've been here for quite some time. Our photojournalist on the scene, Kevin Mumphrey, just sent me an update. He says they are still trying to get communication with whoever is holed up in this townhouse. Kevin also telling me that the street where this is happening, police have got everybody out of their homes. So what they've basically done is they have evacuated all of the people living on the street where this is happening. This is a big townhouse subdivision. But again, the police where it's happening in the West End Station development, that street has now been evacuated.
All right, Metro Police continue to aim there at the window of this particular townhome in Lebanon. We're going to continue to watch it here for you.
We are following also more breaking news involving international headlines because this morning, dire warnings are coming from Capitol Hill about a suspected Russian nuclear program that could target U.S. satellites. If deployed, nuclear arms in space could wipe out U.S. satellite capabilities and then cripple the world economy. This is why this is important. Well, the White House today is going to brief what's called the Gang of 8. That is congressional and intelligence leaders from both parties, both sides of the aisle. Russia has dismissed all of this, though. They say it's part of an effort to force Congress to approve new aid for the war in Ukraine. If you want some more updates on this story, we'll have them for you throughout 9 a.m.
7:27, quick look at what I promised you here. This is Future Track. This is cloud cover by the end of today. But let's talk about tomorrow's timing for a little bit of rain that moves in. Morning hours, 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. A pop-up shower or 2 can't be ruled out. Not much more than just running the windshield wipers once or twice. But 2 p.m. starting in southern Kentucky through 5 o'clock through the heart of middle Tennessee, and then 9 p.m. tomorrow. It's a daytime event here where by 9 o'clock we could even bring enough cold air in to see a few snowflakes. Not a high impact event. Just know it's the afternoon we have to watch.
Coming up in a few minutes, I have an update on the infant death that happened last week under the watch of a caregiver.
And a bit of a bizarre story playing out right here in Tennessee this morning. Several law enforcement officers are currently working together to find a missing deputy in Meigs County. This is just a couple of hours east of Nashville.
And get 50 months no interest financing with no minimum and no down payment. Only at American Signature Furniture.
The Good Feet Store, improving people's lives 2 feet at a time.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
The city of Laverne is on high alert this Thursday morning as police are on the hunt for multiple suspects involved in a robbery investigation where residents should be on the lookout.
Waking up here, gorgeous start to the day, 66 degrees this afternoon, but everything changes back to a winter pattern within the next 24 hours. I'll time it out when rain arrives in your forecast.
Still clear traffic is on the south side of town. This is going to be I-65 near Moores Lane. Traffic beginning to ease up after a really slow start. We're going to tell you some other areas of town to watch out for in just a few.
All right, lots to get to, but we do want to start by thanking you for waking up with us here bright and early on a Thursday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Fox 17 News is your live local news source from 7 to 9 a.m. And we begin this 7:30 half hour with the breaking news updates coming to us from Lebanon, where police right now are trying to establish communication with somebody wanted out of Nashville on 3 different warrants. We understand that the street where this is happening at West End Station Townhomes just off Lebanon Road, that everybody who lives on this street has now evacuated so that police can try to get a resolution here. Nearby daycare center, the Lebanon Daycare Center is also closed because that's a police command spot. We're monitoring this live breaking news situation, and we'll have those updates for you every few minutes.
Listen up, the Laverne Police Department wants their residents to go ahead and be alert, be vigilant, because multiple people escaped from a robbery investigation. Police were searching for hours in different locations, so we're going to circle this one right here. We understand the Jefferson, Pike, and Center Street area, that's the first one, for 2 or 3 people reportedly dressed in all black who have been, according to police, deemed dangerous. Now, if you have information about the suspects, you were asked to call 911 or the non-emergency number. We're sharing that number right there for you on the bottom of your screen, and we have more updates over on fox17.com.
And developing right now, we have several law enforcement officers working together to find a missing deputy. This is in Meigs County, a little more than 2 hours east of Nashville, between Chattanooga and Knoxville. Investigators say the deputy disappeared last night while he was transporting a woman. We now know that dive teams have found a car in the waters of the Tennessee River near where that deputy's cell phone is pinging a signal. Again, very strange developments as this story unfolds right here in Tennessee. We'll be bringing you these updates as well, live through 9.
This bill will now, with the adoption of this amendment, will be called Jillian's Law.
This morning on Fox 17 News, getting some more updates.
Continuing coverage on Jillian's Law, the measure that would keep people who are found incompetent to stand trial from being released without treatment. The law is named after Jillian Lugwood, the lady you see here who is a Belmont University student who died when a stray bullet hit her in November. That bill has been racing toward passage in the legislature, but this morning we have learned it is now on hold until the budget is passed. The reason for that? Jillian's Law would come with a price tag of about $2 million a year. Fox 17 News will keep you updated both on air and online at fox17.com.
Now to an update on the unlicensed daycare over in South Nashville, where a 6-month-old baby died last week. Heartbreaking. The Tennessee Department of Human Services filing a temporary restraining order against the woman who was watching this baby. Right now, Fox 17 News reporter Kieran Aguilar joining us live in the area. You've been speaking with the caregiver and getting some more updates. So what can you share with us now?
Yes, well, good morning. The temporary restraining order is an effort to stop Lourdes Hernandez, the caregiver, from operating a daycare in her apartment on Welshwood Drive, where I'm standing. Now, this is as close as we can get to her apartment, but it is somewhere in this complex. Police say there were 10 kids inside the 1-bedroom apartment the day the infant died. Court documents say that some of the children were found crying and had full diapers. After the Tennessee Department of Human Services investigation, they tell us this in part. On February 3rd, 2024, our department did file a temporary restraining order, TRO, against Ms. Hernandez, which she received today to prevent her from operating a child care agency without a license. Now, Hernandez tells me that she wasn't expecting to, especially after such a traumatizing experience. You're going to hear more from her coming up in the next half hour. Reporting live in South Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
7:36 your time, and what is new this morning as you're waking up when it comes to the world of weather? Well, we have another nice day ahead of us. 66 this afternoon. We're already warming near 50 degrees in some spot on the right side of your screen. Taking a look here, much colder for the weekend, and what brings in the cold air? Our next weather maker that brings in some snow and rain. Rain the big thing here, but I mentioned snow first because the chances, if you start seeing stuff on social media for snow, are there, but we're not going to have an impact like we had on Monday. Maybe a dusting by Saturday morning in a few spots. The rain really is the big feature. 66 goes to 40 on Saturday. We will time out that rain and also talk about cold temperatures in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get to I-65 at Dickerson Pike, coming in from the north side. As you can see, traffic is moving, but moving slowly there. Drive time coming down from Hendersonville at around 40 minutes or so. We're going to give you an update on other sides of town coming up in a few.
Coming up, we're going to reveal the surprise.
Some did it, some not, but all with big savings. Town and Country Ford in Madison.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
All right, coming up on 740 here, excuse me, we are continuing to follow that breaking news out of Lebanon this morning. An ambulance and the fire department have now arrived. That ambulance has been there for most of the morning. The fire department is new, and you can see it's actually on the side. It's the Wilson Emergency Management Agency that is rolled up there in this particular area. This is outside that daycare center, the command center that they're using that is closed for the day as they continue to wait and try and get that barricaded suspect to come out of these townhomes.
In case you're just now waking up with us, I do want to give you a quick recap of this breaking news that we've been following now for hours. This is just off of Lebanon Road. This is the West End Station townhome neighborhood right next door to the Learning Zone of Lebanon Daycare. We can see officers have been holding their spot for quite some time here. We understand, according to the command center officers, that they're trying to establish communication. That daycare I just mentioned, the Learning Zone of Lebanon, is closed today for what we just saw a moment ago. I mean, the command center has essentially taken over their entire parking lot to try to get a resolution here. The person who they are trying to get to come out is wanted on 3 warrants out of Metro Nashville, which is why we see Metro Police also on scene. Now,
this standoff has been going on for at least a couple of hours that we know about and could go on for several more. We've heard of these things dragging out for a long time. Of course, we'll continue to follow it and let you know whatever happens out there from Wilson County.
Doing it.
Mid-State Congressman Mark Green says he will not be running for re-election for the United States House of Representatives.
Yeah, the Tennessee Republican just announcing that he will not seek a 4th term. This all comes just one day after the impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Now, Representative Green is the chairman of the Committee on Homeland Security, which spearheaded the effort on the part of House Republicans.
Now, Green did serve in Congress since 2018, representing Tennessee's 7th district out there. That includes locations like Clarksville, all the way down into parts of Nashville and into Williamson County.
And taking a look at the forecast here, getting you ahead to the weekend today, 66 and sunshine goes to clouds. Rain tomorrow drops the temperatures. 40 on Saturday, 51 degrees on Sunday. Mornings in the 20s. I'm going to look ahead at a new look at future track for hour-by-hour rain tomorrow coming up in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic out there so far. This is one of the rougher spots we've got. I-40 at Silman Evans Bridge in downtown. We're going to let you know why this area in particular can be a little.
With Nashville's largest selection of leather motion furniture, sofas and sectionals, bedroom and dining room, reclining furniture, and more.
Plus free next day delivery.
It's the B.F. Myers Furniture President's Day sale.
Good morning, 7:45 right now, and we are live in Lebanon, continuing to follow the breaking news updates where we have several police agencies working to get somebody out of a townhome who was wanted on 3 charges out of Nashville. Continuing to give you those breaking news updates as they come in live through 9.
Continuing coverage now of a rural Tennessee bakery struggling to keep the doors open. Sweet Jordan's hires special needs workers.
And after seeing our reporting, a caravan of Jeep owners sprang into action. Fox 17 News reporter Dennis Ferrier along for the ride from here to Henry County. That is our story in this morning's Ferrier Files.
A big group of Jeeps assembles in the Nashville West parking lot. It turns out, if you buy a Jeep, you also get a community.
You buy a Jeep, you get a circle of friends and something to do every weekend.
Today, 6 different Jeep clubs are making the long drive to Sweet Jordan's in Paris, Henry County. The goal? Give that bakery its biggest day ever.
My goal is to sell them out today. I told them, be prepared to make extra, and I would love nothing more to sell out their shelves, empty their ice cream cooler, and leave some really large tips.
130 Jeeps arrive on the scene.
Thanks for coming.
Sweet Jordan's co-owner Tommy St. John has been working and crying all morning.
Caleb, can you believe all these Jeeps are coming to help us stay open?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Sweet Jordan's employs 30 special needs workers. They have to work less than 20 hours a week or they lose their government benefits. The business can't be not-for-profit because you would have to let all of them go after 6 months. As a for-profit, they can keep them here for years. That is meaningful, but not profitable. And so Sweet Jordan's is struggling as it looks for ways to make this work forever.
Hey, you want to put them in there? Put them in there, upside down. Other way. Yeah, high five.
Jordan keeps saying, Mom, we've always said if you build it, they will come. And as we were driving in this morning, he was praying in the back, thanking God. And he said, if you build it, they will come. Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Ricky! Jordan St. John is the ambassador of Sweet Jordan's, the namesake of the bakery, a young man who has unexpected grace. Somebody wrote on my cup, I will baptize you as my brother, love Papa Jordan. Who was that?
It was me.
It was you?
Yeah.
That is so cool. You wrote on every cup.
Yeah.
Wow. What made you think of that? He was honored, and so are we. All of us who step foot in this bakery, touched by the sweetness, not of the desserts, but of the people.
Hey, give me a high five.
Everything here comes with a hug. A place full of unexpected moments. I heard you're an excellent rapper. Do you feel the love in the room today?
Yes, I do.
At the end of the day, this became the biggest single day in the history of Sweet Jordan's.
I've been crying all morning.
We're happy to be here.
I'm just so overwhelmed and thankful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, what you do is very, very special.
$6,000 in sales and a $2,000 tip from the Jeep people.
Everything we do here, we want to glorify God in. We want to lift His name. We want to put Him on display. We want to make Him famous. And these special team members, they're the closest thing to Jesus with skin on.
Well, Dennis, we should have brought the tissues for that one.
Biggest day ever. You know, the thing too, I wanted to, you know, I mean, obviously awesome. The Jeep people, they've become this group of people that just help people.
They're good.
All the time. I mean, like every week. And Sweet Jordan's, you know, it is a long drive for Henry County, but, you know, they do cookie subscriptions, which you put online. That's a way to help. You know, you can get cookies once a month. And biggest day ever, so.
I definitely want to go check them out.
I think I'm about to head online right now
Get
to
that
see if
cookie
I can get a
subscription?
cookie subscription.
Yeah, do it.
What a great story, Dennis. I've appreciated your stories from day one on this. I mean, and it just has continued to evolve and grow in a way that I think what they were saying, only God could do, right? Like sometimes you see things like this and you think there's no way this happens by any other grace.
Absolutely. God puts people in your life, I believe. And, you know, and the right people. If you're listening, if you're paying attention.
And you should follow them on social media. I started it because of your story, and they post about what they're making that day and just encouraging messages. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah, they're
That's
great
the good
people.
stuff. That's the good stuff, Dennis. Thank you.
We need more of the good stuff, you know? See, something like that on any given morning just makes you smile, you know? One smile can also go a real long way in someone's day. Taking a look. The week ahead, you can smile today when you head out. 66 degrees, fantastic tomorrow. That's the day where everything begins to change a little bit here. Not perfect. 59 degrees, rain moving in early afternoon, unfortunately, and it'll stick with us going into the evening. So if you have Friday plans, getting out of work and you're going, all right, I'm going to go hit the town to go get some dinner, take an umbrella with you, because that's going to change up everything and make us much colder for Saturday and Sunday. 40 to 50 degrees if we're lucky. on Saturday and Sunday. Today, cloud cover does pick up going into the evening, but that's okay. No rain with that. Tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. to 9 a.m., a few little dots of some green on the radar. You don't necessarily need to worry about this, but you may be using the windshield wipers. Just keep that in mind. And the headlights may be on a little bit longer. Taking a look here, 2 p.m. Now, this is when the main event moves in. It's not a big one. It's not a high-impact event, but a line of showers and maybe even a thunderstorm or two tracks through, starting at 2 o'clock in the northwest. Here's 5 p.m. and here's 9 o'clock. Notice the pinks and the blues here getting very close to us. On the backside of this, temperatures will drop from the upper 50s early afternoon to the 30s by 9 p.m. That means the chance for some wet snowflakes to mix in. Not nearly as much of an impact as Monday's event that we saw when we had those really big wet snowflakes that came down very quickly and gave us actually some snow that stuck pretty well. Well, the temperature does drop down to 40 degrees after that on your Saturday. 51 on Sunday. Nighttime temperatures, a little blast of winter for 48 hours. They'll go all the way down to the low 20s by Sunday morning.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to I-65 at the Dickerson Pike area. As you make your way in from the north side, things are very, very slow. This is congestion and what it can do for you out there. No major accidents. It's just a lot of people packed together on the roads of the city of Nashville this morning. If you're on 440, you're in great shape. We had an earlier crash, near Hillsborough Road there at exit 3 there on the 440 area, very close to West End, very close to Hillsborough Village. All of that has cleared out of the way and traffic's moving along nicely as you make your way towards I-65. We're going to check in on some other areas of town, including a big slowdown from I-24 from Murfreesboro coming up in just a few.
Justin, thank you. 7:52 is the time right now. Looking ahead to this September, the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix will be back. But they're not going to be ripping and roaring through the streets of downtown Nashville. They are moving this race to the Nashville Superspeedway in Lebanon.
I know this caught a lot of people by surprise, okay? So crews say that construction on the new Titan Stadium, that is going to impact the normal race course that goes throughout the city, you know, all those hills, the bridges. The Grand Prix typically winds through Nashville streets and parts of Lower Broadway, but event coordinators say fans should still expect a tremendous show despite the change of venue.
All right, a plan to keep people from driving drunk. Why some are not sold, though, on what's being called the warm beer only idea. We'll explain in moments.
And Fox 17 News keeping a very close eye on the breaking news situation here. This is over in Lebanon, and we're letting you know about the swap.
Our full line of F-150s plus 1.9% financing for 72 months available. Some scratched, some didn't, some not, but all with big savings. Town and Country Ford in Madison.
Welcome back. 7:56 is the time. It's Black History Month, and the Jefferson Street Sound Museum, they're hosting an art exhibit. It's called Black History and Music. Now, we want to let you know this exhibit does aim to celebrate musicians of the past and also the present. All events are going to be held all month long. We do have information and dates on your screen right now. Also, go to fox17.com for more updates there.
And here we are at 7:56. A quick look at your forecast here. We're going to hone in on the weekend. That really is the next big change we have in the forecast today. Very much so like yesterday. A little more cloud cover, but also a few more degrees. We'll get up to 66. However, Saturday, not at all. 40 degrees if we're lucky. Most of us will be stuck in the 30s. You may wake up to a little dusting of snow on the ground from Friday night. That's how we're going to be. It's not a high impact by any means, but that's how we kick off the day. Sunday, much better, 51, bright sunshine. We get away from that weather maker that moves in tomorrow, and Sunday does shape up pretty well, but very cold. We're going to have temperatures that'll be in the low 20s as you wake up Sunday morning, which means even the slightest breeze will make it feel like we're in the teens. How do you keep track of the incoming rain tomorrow? You get the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. Pick up your phone. I mean, I don't mean like pick it up, it's already in your hand. I mean, scan it up. Yeah, there you go. Put the camera on the QR code, scan the QR code, and you can get that app there. You can track the rain in real time and get your hour-by-hour temperatures that we plug in for you every day.
Steer clear traffic out there for you. Let's get you to the roads. This is going to be I-24, very close to Briley Parkway. You can see where there's one disabled vehicle there on the shoulder, not causing big problems, just something to be aware of as you make that drive in. The drive coming down I-24 already very slow this morning. We'll take you there in just a second, give you the drive times. Here's west of town, I-40 near Charlotte, making that drive over from West Nashville into the Nations this morning. Packed lanes, but nothing blocking name them. Just lots and lots of people out there this morning. We're going to continue to follow things and let you know whatever we find.
7:58 right now. State lawmakers want to pass a new law that would make it illegal for stores across the state to sell cold beer. The reason? They think it would help cut down on the number of drunk drivers because they think they wouldn't get cold beer, drink it, and then immediately drive. So they think that if the beer is warm, it might curb the number of people who would go to the store, buy it, and then perhaps drive with it.
Well, we're asking what you think about this. Do you think this will curb DUIs? As of right now, 90.6% of you all say no. You do not think a bill to stop selling cold beer at stores would help curb DUIs. Listen, you can go sound off right now by going to our Fox Nashville X account, that's Twitter, and let us know what you think. We'll continuously update the numbers that are showing up. Trending now over on Fox17.com, a quick look at what stories are catching your eye is a story that over at TSA. We talked about this earlier. A woman somehow breached all the Nashville airport security and then was able to board an airline without a ticket.
From Nashville to LA, jumped over one security checkpoint, walked right through the scanners, and walked on the plane. So we're going to get answers onto exactly how that happened. But if you want to get that story and any others, we've got them for you live right now at Fox17.com.
Promotional consideration for this program provided by Ponce Law.
Do you know someone who is a hometown hero in your community? Because if you do, Fox 17 News, we want to share their story.
We do. It's part of our Hometown Heroes segment with Ponce Law, where we find and award local hometown heroes $1,000. And if you have somebody you'd like to nominate right now, head to poncelaw.com/hometownhero.
Promotional consideration for this program provided by Ponce Law.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Fox 17 News following multiple breaking stories. We're beginning with updates from Lebanon, where police are actively trying to get someone out of a townhouse. Look at this. They have been barricaded there for hours. Live looks and how it's impacting local daycare and school bus routes.
A shift worker is killed on his work break overnight. Fox 17 News, they're live as police investigated. We'll tell you what we've learned about this office location and the search for a killer.
Coming up in a few minutes, I have an update on a woman running an unlicensed daycare in South Nashville. Stay with us.
And of course, we would like to start by thanking you for waking up with us here bright and early on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We've got you covered for the next hour as your only live local news source through 9 a.m. And as such, we're able to bring you these live local breaking news updates.
First, want to get you to Lebanon. That is where police say a suspect wanted by Metro Nashville Police is barricaded inside a home. All of this happening in a very heavily dense townhome community.
So we're talking about Lebanon Road. This is the West End Station townhome community. This is near the Publix and Cumberland Animal Hospital. Just a couple of landmarks for you. And for hours, we have watched police try to get somebody out of one of these townhouses. That person wanted out of Metro Nashville on 3 different warrants, 2 for aggravated kidnapping and 1 for aggravated burglary.
Yes, a cruise again right here in the West End Station neighborhood. This is off Lebanon Road. At one point, they had their armed weapons up in the air. We do understand this is impacting the local school bus routes for kids who are not able to get on their bus because the roads are blocked off.
Yes, so Wilson County Schools had to pick up the kids at the end of this street. Police giving those children an escort. The daycare center that is right next to this neighborhood is currently closed today because that daycare center is now command central for this very developing situation. We monitor it for you with updates live through 9 a.m.
More updates now regarding a situation that we brought you as breaking news around 4 o'clock this morning. A man is dead after being shot overnight. This situation in Antioch.
Yeah, we understand the shift worker was on his break, went out to his car around midnight. This is in the 2900 block of Old Franklin Road in Antioch. This is very close to the intersection of Bell Road and I-24. There is a candle making company in this big white building, and that's where the man had been working. Again, he walks out to the parking lot on his break and is shot in the parking lot. He took off running inside to get help from his co-workers.
Wow, well, so far police say the shooting does not appear to be targeted. There could also, according to police, be more than one shooter responsible, but this investigation is ongoing. We'll continue asking questions and bring you the very latest developments throughout 9 o'clock.
It's 8:03 right now, and new information this Thursday morning on the unlicensed daycare in South Nashville where a 6-month-old baby died just last week.
That's a terrible story. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live after speaking with that caregiver, and you have an update for us.
Yes, the Tennessee Department of Human Services is asking a Davidson County judge to make sure that caregiver Lourdes Hernandez can no longer run that unlicensed daycare here in South Nashville. Now, we're in front of her apartment complex here on Welshwood Drive. This is as close as we can get. But as a recap, the baby died inside of her 1-bedroom apartment last Thursday. Police say there were more than 6 children inside the apartment at the time the infant died, including kids of her own. Court documents say the children were crying and had full diapers, among other things. Now, as a reminder, this woman charges $25 a day per child. I spoke with her to ask her what exactly happened. Take a listen. My priority was to try to revive the baby, but sadly nothing could be done for the baby. And that's when the mom came and called 911. Of course, she speaks Spanish and she is undocumented, so I had to translate for her. But we are working on getting a hold of the parents of the baby that died, Madison Alberto Cotto. Her funeral was this week. Reporting live in South Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
8:04 your time to look at your Code Red forecast. Nothing to worry about today. Actually, all smiles here. 66 degrees later on this afternoon. One more day well above 60 for our high temperatures. Friday, rain timing has changed. Unfortunately, more hours of our Friday look to have showers than what we were anticipating earlier in the week. We'll take a look at that in about 10 minutes just to make sure you have the most up-to-date timing here before you head out the door. Again, nothing happening today, but that rain could even give us a few snowflakes on the backside of it late Friday night into early Saturday. Taking a look, what are we watching? And it is going to be that weather maker that not only brings in the next chance for rain, but also colder temperatures. Taking a look here. Extended forecast, 66 degrees today, right near 60 tomorrow. Temperatures dropping into the 30s after about 7 o'clock at night, and then all the way down to 28 Friday night into Saturday morning. We go 40 degrees on Saturday. So look at that temperature swing that we have. We go from 66 degrees for a high to 40. But the bigger temperature drop is we go from 66 degrees this afternoon to 23, less than 72 hours away. So we drop about 40 degrees in 72 hours. So that's going to be a shock to the system waking up Sunday morning. We're going to feel like we're in the teens. You better know where your winter coat is at if you're going to be up early either day of the upcoming weekend. And we'll talk about that new timeline for the rain that moves in tomorrow coming up in the next check of your Code Red forecast in 5 minutes.
Clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out to I-24 at Old Hickory Boulevard. Been dealing with slowdowns out there throughout the morning. Glad to know, though, that things are starting to ease up out there. So nowhere near as bad as what we were facing about 10 to 15 minutes ago out there on I-24 as you make that drive in from Murfreesboro, from Antioch, from Laverne, places like that. Good news. Here's I-40 at Donaldson Pike. If you got a flight this morning at the airport, this is your exit. Also looking much more promising than it was around 30 minutes ago. So as we enter our 8 o'clock hour, traffic starting to lighten up just a little bit. We'll get the latest on drive times coming up in just a few.
Justin, thank you. 8:06 right now, and a follow-up this morning. An East Tennessee deputy killed in the line of duty has now been laid to rest. Greg McGowan's funeral in Knoxville, and we're looking at video from that. People who knew him say he was full of life and love and was honored to live his life's dream of becoming a police officer. McGowan leaves behind 2 children and his fiancee. By the way, Kenneth DeHart, the prime suspect, is awaiting his next court date in Blount County.
The commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse says that the number of people dying because of drugs continues to rise. We're going to tell you why some lawmakers are concerned that the drug problem is beyond their control.
Sweet Jordan's, a unique workplace hiring those with special needs, is receiving some much needed.
Some scratched, some did it, some not, but all with big savings. Town and Country Ford in Madison.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Zander Insurance.
8:10 is the time. We are taking a live look out in Lebanon this morning. That is where the Lebanon Police Department, along with Metro Police, the Wilson County Sheriff's Office, they are surrounding a townhouse out there that does have a suspect barricaded inside. They've been doing this now for several hours. The suspect is wanted for several things, including aggravated burglary and aggravated kidnapping. Wanted out of Metro Nashville. That's why they are leading this. Police have been out there with guns drawn and trying to get this person to come out of the house, out of that townhome. Hopefully, they are hoping to get this resolved safely. You can see some people moving out and about there. You can also see one officer leaned across that car with the gun aimed there at the window of one of the homes. They've been like this, again, for several hours. They've got a daycare center that they're using nearby as a command center. It is closed for the day while this continues. We're going to continue to watch it out there again. This is in Lebanon, Wilson County. Well, the commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse says that 1.1 million Tennesseans suffer from some type of substance use disorder. That includes both alcohol and drugs. It's a problem that continues to grow despite the education efforts that are out there. The commissioner says the best way to fight this issue is not just trying to get those on drugs off of them, but to stop people from getting hooked in the first place.
If someone has an addiction issue, they're looking for that substance. If we can get to them, we can also help with them wanting to continue on a substance. So I can say that we're grateful for our partnership with TBI and the help that they do related to the legal ramifications of the overdose.
I feel guilty that this is happening on our watch, and you do too. You do too. Our hearts are in the right place, but these are forces beyond our borders, beyond Tennessee borders, that we cannot control. And as a result, the end result is that we are losing the battle.
It is estimated that 1 in 4 Tennesseans suffer from some type of mental health issues, some major, others are minor. Circular traffic quickly takes us to I-24 Haywood Lane. You can see there traffic is moving, but moving a little slowly. It's about an hour right now from Murfreesboro into downtown.
And we are waking up here to temperatures going to 66 degrees this afternoon, but do not get used to this continuing. A big change in the forecast. Rain, snow, and 20-degree temperatures coming your way in your Code Red forecast.
And students' assaults on teachers are on the rise. Coming up, we're going to hear from one of the educators.
We've been breathing this.
Lots of people don't realize that mold feeds off moisture in their crawl space. But don't worry, we got this.
At AFS, we'll do a home inspection for free.
8:15 is the time. Right now, Fox 17 News, we are getting you back out to the breaking news over in Lebanon because you can see very active police out there. They are trying to get to the bottom of a suspect wanted by Metro Nashville Police, barricaded in a townhome.
Right, so we've been on this for hours. The high impact here is just off Lebanon Road in the West End Station townhome neighborhood. And this is near the Publix on Lebanon Road, the Cumberland Animal Hospital. This street, which is Sherrill, looks to be near the intersection of Sherrill, is shut down. We have learned throughout about the last 30 minutes that all of the children living in this community had to walk up a street in order to catch their bus because their school bus couldn't come into the crime scene. A nearby daycare center, this would be the Learning Zone of Lebanon, is closed today because that's central command for this entire operation. And also just got an update from Kevin Mumphrey. He's our photojournalist on the scene this morning, telling me that the fire department just left. We did have an ambulance and a fire truck show up from Wilson County, which is leading this operation, but the fire department has now left, and we've got Metro and Wilson County leaders still on it. Updates in minutes.
Now, to crisis in the classroom this morning. Student assaults on teachers are on the rise. In fact, last year, there were about 344 student to staff assaults at Metro Nashville schools.
Yeah, that's just in Metro public schools. Fox 17 News reporter Amanda Chen talking with some teachers and how they feel school leaders can do better here.
Yes, good morning, Jen and Erica. Well, we know that teachers tell us that in Nashville, there are times they don't feel safe going to school, but it makes it even harder when they don't feel supported by the district. Now, Laura Leonard has been a teacher at Metro Nashville schools for 20 years. Leonard says she sometimes worries for her safety since students have assaulted her. But Leonard says the response from administrators upsets her even more when she tries to tell them what happened. Leonard says these incidents happen after she tries taking a cell phone away or if she's issuing some kind of reprimand or consequence.
I wish that they believed me. I mean, why would I say that if it wasn't happening? What's in it for me? What am I gaining if I say something like that that's not true? So it is personally quite hurtful. Yeah.
Okay, so we're hearing from teachers. Now I'm curious, Amanda, what is the district saying about this?
Yeah, so the district is saying that there are priorities and, procedures in place where teachers can report this to district administration if they don't feel safe in the classroom, if they don't feel like the actual school took the proper protocol, so they can kind of fight the decision the school has made, because this teacher is saying, hey, the school doesn't believe me when I tell them that these types of things are going on. So there are protocols in place where they can kind of go beyond the school. But I mean, this is something that we hear about all the time. It affects teachers across the mid-state. We just had one of our reporters, Caitlin Miller, last week. She spoke with a former MNPS teacher who says that he had the option to either quit or work with the student who assaulted him. And he, out of safety, he was like, nope, I'm done.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I know this story goes even deeper. You'll continue your reporting right
tonight
here on Fox 17 News at 9 tonight.
We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist because we got lots of sunshine this Thursday.
Oh, we have it for now, so enjoy it while it lasts. By the end of today, clouds begin to take over, but right now, enjoy what is out there and what is a really nice start to this Thursday. Here's the cloud cover, no rain today, and we're quickly warming up. If you thought yesterday was warm, I wore the winter coat to work yesterday because we get in so early, and wore it on the way out the door leaving and was sweating walking to the car. It's that kind of day again today where you started off in the 30s and you'll be at 66 later on this afternoon. Here's your look at tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. And there's little specks of green, they're going to pop up. A few light showers for the morning hours, and those will linger into southern Kentucky throughout most of the early afternoon as well. The main band of rain 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and then 9 o'clock. That's when all of this really begins to pull in. On the backside, we're going to sweep in some cold air. That's why there's some pink and blue. That's wintry mix. We could see a little mixed precip that could even give us the possibility of a dusting of snow in a spot or two. Do not think back to Monday and go, uh-oh, we're doing that again. No, we're not. This is just going to be a dusting at best in a few areas across Middle Tennessee. Then the cold takes over. We go from 66 degrees today, 59 tomorrow, 40 for the high temperature by the time we reach Saturday.
Steer clear traffic gets us to Vietnam Veterans Boulevard near New Shackle Island. That is where we are dealing with a major slowdown here. We do have a crash up ahead of us here, very close to exit 3, which would be the Gallatin Pike exit there. It says Hendersonville over the top, but it's talking about Highway 31 or Gallatin Road, Main Street, whatever you like to call it there in Hendersonville. It's all the same place. That's where the crash is, and that's where the slowdown is coming from out here. Right now, the drive times look like this. Franklin into downtown at 38 minutes. Murfreesboro, 69 minutes coming down I-24. 43 minutes on that drive down Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. You can try to take Gallatin Pike if you want, but it's got problems of its own.
Justin, thank you. One of our local communities, which is growing by the day, now has just one firefighter. After the city fires the chief and the rest of the department quits to support that chief. We'll tell you how this could impact your safety in Millersville.
And Julie,
with low 1.9% financing up to 60 months. Plus a $1,500 trade-in assist for any SUV trade. Trade-in assist cash now at North Nashville's Nissan of Rivergate in Madison.
8:23 is the time, and right now we are following breaking news that could point to troubling times in our economy. Americans taking a break from spending back in January after the traditional holiday season splurge. Well, the Commerce Department this morning saying that retail sales fell nearly 1%. And then business and clothing and accessory stores, that was down 0.2%, while sales at building materials and suppliers, that also fell more than 4%, reflecting a still weak housing market. So it's just a closer look at our economy that we'll continue taking a deeper dive into here on Fox 17 News this morning.
And here we are, 8:24 your time, taking a look at your weekend outlook. And boy, it could not be different than today is going to be. Today, 66 degrees. Saturday, we're lucky, and I mean we're really lucky if we hit 40 degrees for 1 hour during the afternoon. Most of the day will be in the 20s and 30s, and there could even be a dusting of some snow on the ground as you wake up in a few areas, not widespread by any means, on your Saturday. So keep that in mind. Sunday, a little better, still a little bit below average, but at least close to 50 degrees. Look at the morning temperature, though. We bottom out at 23 degrees as you wake up on Sunday, and those 20-degree temperatures all the way through 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. So that rain on Friday trickles into Saturday, but it'll be done before you wake up. Very chilly mornings. Sunday brings back the sunshine for us. We'll take a look at your 7-day forecast and go beyond the weekend. I promise you, if we can make it through the weekend next week, we get back to some better times when it comes to less weather makers and more degrees added to our high temperatures.
Steer clear traffic gets us out to I-24 this morning, I-24 at Harding Place. As you make that drive in, still around an hour to get in from Murfreesboro to downtown Nashville. This is part of that drive coming through a congested area of Antioch out there this morning. So heads up on that. Antioch Pike, Murfreesboro Road, maybe even Nolensville Pike can help you steer clear. Still dealing with a crash that we can't see, but we can certainly see the backup on Vietnam Veterans Boulevard, very close to the exit 3 area there near Gallatin Pike. The backup going all the way back near New Shackle. You could try to take Main Street if you want, but you know, it's got fast food, school zones, turning lanes, all kinds of things that will give you similar types of headaches.
To see all those guys bring their stuff in and turn it in, it was mixed emotions. I mean, of course, very humbling, but also it scares me because I'm a resident in the city and I have a home and I have a family, and you know, we rely on the city to provide police and fire protection.
That is Brandon Head, the former fire chief for Millersville, where in that community, he is no longer the fire chief, and they're left with just one firefighter after the city went in and fired the chief. So here's what happened. We understand, according to leaders there, that the city manager fired Brandon Head, the chief. 17 firefighters walked off the job to support Mr. Head and in opposition of his firing.
Yeah, so Bryant Crow, the Millersville city attorney, says that the interim city manager, Tina Tobin, made these decisions to terminate the former fire chief, Brandon Head. This comes about a month after she also fired the police chief, which also caused a lot of uproar. Now many people are wondering what led up to these big changes within the city government out there, and what will happen if there is an emergency there within the city of Millersville.
Sure, I mean, what if, God forbid, your house catches fire and they've got one firefighter?
Well, what if they have a standoff like they did this morning?
You know, well, city leaders tell us that they have worked through a tentative plan. They have a mutual agreement with the cities of White House and Goodlettsville. Both of them have agreed to step in to help if needed.
Action has been taken by the Tennessee Department of Human Services against caregiver Lourdes Hernandez following the death of a baby girl last week. I'll have more details on that in just a few minutes.
And we continue to follow the breaking news. Okay, we've got folks in hazmat suits. So it would seem, maybe.
Or maybe a sheet.
Or maybe just wrapped up in a sheet.
I think they might be
wrapped up in a sheet. Okay, my apologies. But yet and still, we continue to follow that breaking news out of Lebanon this morning, where police have got a suspect that...
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by U.S. Pest Protection. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Breaking news updates. The city of Laverne is on high alert this morning as police are on the hunt for multiple suspects involved in a robbery investigation. We're going to tell you where residents should be on the lookout.
And taking a look here this morning, nothing happening just yet, but by tomorrow we've changed the timeline for some rain. The latest updates to the timing of that arrival coming up in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic from Sumner County continues to be slow on Vietnam Veterans Boulevard, but things are improving just a little bit. I'll tell you how.
Thank you so much for joining us here on a Thursday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We have you covered live and local for the next 30 minutes. We want to get straight to the breaking news out of Lebanon this morning, where police have been staged for hours trying to get someone to come out of a townhome in the West End Station neighborhood. Watch here live with us because we do see a lot of movement. This is a lot of change from the last few minutes. We can see police with their guns drawn, getting someone out of a home and into that white SUV. Getting word from our Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey that he just saw some officers move into one of these townhomes. Now, we are working to find out exactly what has developed here in just the last couple of minutes. If you look to the left side of your screen, you can see someone who may live in this area got a white bed sheet wrapped around them. Officers talking to that person. Kevin telling me that that person went running toward the scene and police had to stop them. So very active. This is just off Lebanon Road. Again, the West End Station townhomes. This is near the Publix there on Lebanon Road. We've got Metro Police, Wilson County law enforcement all here on scene. Folks who are walking through the neighborhood have been cleared by police already. They have also shut down the daycare center right here in this neighborhood. It's called the Learning Zone of Lebanon. That is Central Command right now. The person they're trying to get out wanted on 3 warrants out of Nashville.
Listen up. The Laverne Police Department want to let you know that they are searching and letting people know to be vigilant and alert after multiple people escaped from a robbery investigation. Police were searching for hours in the Jefferson Pike area right here, the Jefferson Pike and Center Street area for 2 or 3 people reportedly dressed in all black who have been deemed dangerous. They are now saying if you have any information about who is responsible, you are asked to call 911 or the police non-emergency number. That number is right now for you on the bottom of your screen.
And a developing story here in Tennessee this morning. Several law enforcement officers and different agencies all working together right now to find a missing deputy in Meigs County. Now, this is a little more than 2 hours east of Nashville between Chattanooga and Knoxville. That deputy disappeared last night transporting a woman. We now know that dive teams have found a car in the waters of the Tennessee River near where that deputy's phone is pinging. We are working to get more updates on this developing story. We'll bring them to you as we continue live through 9.
We have an update now on the unlicensed daycare in South Nashville where a 6-month-old baby died last week. Our Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live. You've been translating what the caretaker has to say about this. What can you share with us, Karen?
Yeah, well, that's right. I did speak to caregiver Lourdes Hernandez earlier, and she's visibly upset. Now, I want to tell you the action that's been taken against her by the Tennessee Department of Human Services. They filed a restraining order to stop her from running that unlicensed daycare here in South Nashville. Now, moments ago, we just watched Lourdes Hernandez's children walk down these steps. They tell me that their mom is sleeping in this apartment complex behind me here on Welshwood Road. And so it's one of the 2 windows that David is panning to now. So she was unavailable for comment. But what we do know about this woman is that she is undocumented and she was charging $25 a day per child. So for some perspective, that is $3 an hour if you're working an 8-hour day. And as we know, affordable daycare is not really a thing here in Nashville. So parents are scrambling to give their children to caregivers who are affordable, which might be part of the problem that our reporter Kelly spoke about earlier this week. But in regard to the temporary restraining order, Lourdes Hernandez tells me that she wasn't planning to do it anyway. Take a listen.
No, yo la verdad, pues,
No, well, the truth is, I don't want anything to do with taking care of kids anymore. God forgive me. But with this experience I've had, I love kids, but I don't want to take care of kids anymore. A medical examiner is still determining the cause of death for the baby girl, Madison Alberto Cotto. And police are still investigating whether or not Hernandez is responsible for her death. Reporting live in South Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
8 8:36 and checking in on your forecast this morning. This is the first time you're just kind of waking up here and wanting to know what you're getting into that's new this morning. Well, it's our last day with some sunshine to start and temperatures that will be in the 60s. Big changes going into the weekend. Much colder. That's the big emphasis here on Saturday and Sunday. Morning temps in the 20s, afternoons barely hitting 40 to 50 degrees if we're lucky Saturday and Sunday respectively. Taking a look, rain and snow. Yes, there's some snow in the forecast, not like Monday where we had it come down and we had some decent little accumulations in some areas. That's not the case this time around. We're all clear for code red. We are going to track in that weather maker, though, that brings in the rain and then the cold temperatures behind it. Enjoy today for what it is this morning. Your temperatures on the right side of your screen. We're already getting close to 50 in some spots. We'll be up to 66 this afternoon, 36 degrees tonight, 59 degrees your temperature on your Friday. And then there comes that colder air behind the rain that we'll get tomorrow. Very cold on Saturday and Sunday in the 20s as you wake up. We will time out that rainfall for you when it arrives on your Friday, how long it lasts in moments.
Circular traffic takes us to I-24 at Harding Place. As you can see, traffic there is moving along, even though we are hitting some delays, not just here on 24 coming in from Antioch, but here, even though things are getting better now down Vietnam Veterans Boulevard, we're going to continue to watch things for you.
Justin, thank you. It's 8:37 right now. We reveal the surprise announcement from a mid-state Congressman Mark Green after a successful impeachment vote against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
And we'll continue following the breaking news right here. A live look at Lebanon where police say a suspect wanted by...
I'm scratched. Some did it, some not, but all with big savings. Town and Country Ford in Madison.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
8:41 is the time. Mid-State Congressman Mark Green says he will not be running for re-election for the United States House of Representatives.
Yeah, in fact, new this half hour, Representative Green saying, and I quote, "Our country and our Congress is broken beyond most means of repair. I have come to realize our fight is not here within Washington. Our fight is with Washington." The Tennessee Republican announcing that he will not run for a fourth term, and most recently voted yes on bills that would protect health care for all Americans and voted no on the Israel Security Supplemental Appropriations Act, just to name a couple.
Now, all of this comes the day after the impeachment of the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. As the chairman of the Committee on the Homeland Security, the representative did spearhead the effort to try and remove or at least impeach the Secretary of Homeland Security there. So we'll see what he decides to do next.
Time right now approaching 8:42. Taking a look here at the big story going toward the weekend. The next weather maker is going to be rain that arrives tomorrow when we move the timing up to early afternoon into the evening hours, wrapping up early Saturday. Coming up in your Code Red forecast in about 8 minutes from right now, we're going to look ahead to the latest timing of when it arrives, break it down hour by hour, and then track some colder temperatures for the weekend.
Circular traffic gets us out to I-65 at the I-24 junction from the north side. As you can see, traffic moving in, but things are slowing down towards that point where the two roads meet right there. That is called congestion, and it's what's slowing things down all the time across the mid-state. We'll tell you other ways to steer clear. By the way, you can try to use Ellington Parkway to get past this jam coming up in a few.
Off-roaders on a mission. We'll tell you how they're helping a mid-state business, giving those with special needs an incredibly special purpose.
And we are following breaking news out of Lebanon. That is where police say that a suspect wanted by Metro Police has barricaded himself inside of a home. They've been there for several...
Unbelievable. Join the Oak Grove Players Club and win up to $1,000 free play just for signing up. Oak Grove Racing, Gaming, and Hotel. All kinds of awesome.
8:45 is the time. Do want to bring you right back out here in Lebanon to the breaking news situation where police say a suspect wanted by Metro Nashville Police was barricaded. All of this happening inside of a very busy townhome community, also near a school and a daycare center.
Yeah, Wilson County Schools had to pick up kids this morning up the street because they couldn't get into the crime scene. And then the Learning Zone of Lebanon also closed today for families who would have otherwise, been dropping off their kids all morning because that daycare center is the command central. Now, the person who is holed up in this townhouse is wanted on 3 warrants out of Nashville. We've got 2 aggravated kidnapping warrants and 1 for aggravated burglary. It's interesting, as you know, police this morning have just kind of been milling about this area in particular, and we're being kept away from the primary home where they believe this person is inside.
And about 30 minutes ago, we saw someone come out of that home, based on what our photographer said.
Well, they came out of one of these townhomes.
One of the homes.
We
and
don't
was
know
getting
the
into a vehicle
connection.
and then drove away.
So
we're just working to get some more updates for you. We're going to have our photographer stay out there live on this breaking news scene and have more updates both on air and online.
Continuing coverage now of a rural Tennessee bakery that was struggling to keep the doors open. Sweet Jordan's hires special needs workers.
After seeing our reporting, a caravan of Jeep owners, they took action. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier was along for the ride from here to Henry County. That story in this Thursday morning's Ferrier Files.
A big group of Jeeps assembles in the Nashville West parking lot. It turns out, if you buy a Jeep, you also get a community.
You buy a Jeep, you get a circle of friends and something to do every weekend.
Today, 6 different Jeep clubs are making the long drive to Sweet Jordan's in Paris, Henry County. The goal? Give that bakery its biggest day ever.
My goal is to sell them out today. I told them, be prepared to make extra, and I would love nothing more to sell out their shelves, empty their ice cream cooler, and leave some really large tips.
130 Jeeps arrive on the scene.
Thanks for coming.
Sweet Jordan's co-owner Tommy St. John has been working and crying all morning.
Caleb, can you believe all these Jeeps are coming to help us stay open? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Sweet Jordan's employs 30 special needs workers. They have to work less than 20 hours a week or they lose their government benefits. The business can't be not-for-profit because you would have to let all of them go after 6 months. As a for-profit, they can keep them here for years. That is meaningful, but not profitable. And so Sweet Jordan's is struggling as it looks for ways to make this work forever.
Hey, you want to put them in there? Put them in there, upside down. Other way. Yeah, high five.
Jordan keeps saying, Mom, we've always said if you build it, they will come. And as we were driving in this morning, he was praying in the back, thanking God. And he said, if you build it, they will come. Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Ricky! Jordan St. John is the ambassador of Sweet Jordan's, the namesake of the bakery, a young man who has unexpected grace. Somebody wrote on my cup, I will baptize you as my brother. Love, Papa Jordan. Who was that?
It was me.
It was you?
Yeah.
That is so cool. You wrote on every cup.
Yeah.
Wow. What made you think of that? He was honored, and so are we. All of us who step foot in this bakery, touched by the sweetness, not of the desserts, but of the people.
Hey, give me a high five.
Everything here comes with a hug. A place full of unexpected moments. I heard you're an excellent rapper. Do you feel the love in the room today?
Yes, I do.
At the end of the day, this became the biggest single day in the history of Sweet Jordan's.
I've been crying all morning.
We're happy to be here.
I'm just so overwhelmed and thankful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, what you do is very, very special.
$6,000 in sales and a $2,000 tip from the Jeep people.
Everything we do here, we want to glorify God in. We want to lift His name. We want to put Him on display. We want to make Him famous. And these special team members, they're the closest thing to Jesus with skin on.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and you know, if you want to help, you go online. We'll show you how you could maybe sponsor a team member or even do a monthly cookie subscription, which is a nice way to donate. And honestly, you do get something out of it.
Yeah, and especially if you can't make it there.
Yeah,
you know, if you feel like
it's a long drive and you go once in a while, but a cookie subscription, you know,
you're plugged in.
Sure.
You're doing something once a month.
All right, we'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to go look up right now on some sugar cookies.
Yeah,
Dennis,
I love
thank
sugar
you.
cookies.
And we love that story. 8:50 right now. Here's Greg with the forecast.
Hey, taking a look at the forecast, taking you through today. We're starting off with some sun, but clouds will pick up throughout the afternoon and into the evening. Not a completely cloudy end of the day, but there definitely will be a decent amount of cloud cover that you'll notice hour by hour. Now, overnight tonight into tomorrow's, and things begin to get a little more interesting. You start off tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with a few little specks of green on the radar I'll be tracking for you. Nothing heavy, maybe using the windshield wipers a time or two, and then that moves into southern Kentucky for the first half of the afternoon. 2 p.m., this is when the main event moves in. It's low impact, but we could get a couple decent downpours out of this and maybe even a clap of thunder. This tracks through. Here's 5 p.m. and then 9 p.m. on the backside. The possibility of a few snowflakes, not like what we saw on Monday, but a dusting of snow overnight into Saturday morning cannot be ruled out in a few isolated areas.
Steer clear traffic has what you need coming in from the north side, I-65 and I-24. Listen, if you're waking up in Madison, you got to be in downtown. You got to be one of these buildings that you see down here in the horizon. This is what is getting in your way, and it's a long drive in. So you want to use Ellington Parkway if you can, Dickerson Pike if you can. This could be your best bet to steer clear because it is congested making your way in right now. Let's show you another side if we can. Here we are. This is going to be I-24. Very close to Bell Road, doing a lot better coming in from Antioch this morning than we were a few moments ago. So that has cleared up, but the north side still very much a problem.
Justin, thank you. At 8:52 right now, we'll get you one last breaking news update from Lebanon, where police still have a townhome surrounded, trying to get somebody wanted on 3 warrants out.
And a shift worker is killed on his...
On our full line of F-150s, plus 1.9% financing for 72 months available. Some scratched, some didn't, some not, but all with big savings. Town and Country Ford in Madison.
All morning long, we've been following breaking news out of Lebanon. That is where police say a suspect wanted by Metro Nashville police was barricaded or is barricaded inside of a home.
Yeah, still very active here. In fact, let's take another live look. Our photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey still there on standby, as police are as well, in many regards, trying to get this person out. They are wanted for 3 counts out of Nashville, 2 for aggravated kidnapping, 1 for aggravated burglary. That's all police have been able to tell us so far. They've been trying to establish communication with this person. This is the West End Station townhome neighborhood just off Lebanon Road. This is near the Publix and the Cumberland Animal Hospital, just a couple of landmarks. Folks living in this area have either been evacuated or have been told to stay inside, and the learning zone of Lebanon Daycare right next door is closed for the day.
Breaking news as well when it comes to a New York judge that says former President Donald Trump's hush money trial is going to go ahead as scheduled, with jury selection starting on March 25th.
All right, this update right now that we're showing you is in regards to the shooting in Antioch earlier this morning, where one man, a shift worker overnight, just off of Franklin Highway there in Antioch, went out on his break and was killed in the parking lot. Right now, police are still looking for the shooter or shooters. As we get those updates, we'll bring them to you online at fox17.com.
And one last quick check of your forecast. 66 degrees this afternoon, sunshine now.
Speaking of them, put one in every family member's car. 31% off right now at asadeals.com.
Like me, sometimes your veterinarian might sound like a broken record when it comes to encouraging our clients to keep their pets on heartworm prevention, but I promise you it's worth the cost. Heartworm disease is carried through mosquitoes, and if left untreated, will ultimately prove fatal to our patients and your pet. While it's no surprise that there are more positive cases of heartworm disease in warmer climates, the disease has been found in all 50 states. In addition to preventing heartworm disease, heartworm preventatives can also treat against a variety of other intestinal parasites, as well as fleas and ticks in some cases, which is an added bonus. Remember, prevention is always the best medicine, so please don't forget to keep your pet up to date.